12 sides, like the old threepenny bit, and 2 different metals. Andrew Mills is from the Royal Mint.
Certainly we wanted to suggest something that would be iconically British, and therefore the reference to the threepenny bit, which is fondly remembered by many people in the UK. The other thing that's very important to us is the security of UK coinage. So we believe a 12-sided coin is a deterrent to counterfeiting.
A meeting's been held to discuss what lessons can be learned from the recent flooding in Aylesbury. Around 80 homes on the Willows estate were flooded when the area was battered by heavy rain. More from Matt Lockwood.
The meeting discussed a range of measures to protect homes in the Willows estate. One of the ideas put forward was a flood defence barrier. The County Council's currently producing a report about flooding on the Willows estate. It will look at what went wrong and what can be done to make sure the same mistakes don't happen in the future. It's expected to be published in the next 6 weeks.
A spokesman for President Putin has said Russia has no plans for military intervention in the east of Ukraine. Mr. Putin signed a treaty yesterday confirming that Crimea in the south of Ukraine was to become part of the Russian Federation. A doctor's practice in Newport Pagnell is trying to get permission to take over the troubled Willan surgery in Milton Keynes. The Willan practice closed down suddenly last April. Its patients have had to travel to neighbouring GPs. Now the Newport Pagnell Medical Centre is waiting for a decision by NHS England before taking over. The first tropical plants that will live in the new Centre Parks in Bedfordshire are being delivered. They'll form part of the Woburn Forest Resort, which is due to open in June. The landscape manager for Centre Parks is Richard Watson.
Probably the most notable one is a 400-year-old fig tree which John saved from a Buddhist monastery in Indonesia.
In sport, a second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham, which leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. And Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. The weather, dry and sunny, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
I don't know what button to press!
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
I've been in Newport Pagnell since 1978.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
Up by the river, there are steps down to the water and you can see fish.
All this week, we're featuring Newport Pagnell.
You've got us here as the greengrocers, you've got the local butchers.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Panic over, don't worry, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. It's going to be one of those mornings. I woke up late this morning, my alarm goes off at 4 o'clock. I'm in bed, feeling groovy, feeling, whatever. I look over, it's 4:38. Ah, no! So 10 minutes after that, I thought I'd better get up, because now I'm really late. One of those days. Never mind. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Lots to talk about this morning, including blocked roads, blocked drains, and blocker boots. One of those isn't true. You'll have to listen to find out. If you want to take part, facebook.com/BBC3CR. Send me a text, 81333 or give me a call, 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
What a great idea! A shoe built on blocks. I'll call them blocker boots. We'll sell 1 million. Blocker boots, blocker boots, blocker boots. They're in fashion today. Blocker boots are neat. They go with your feet. Blocker boots are so high. They've made 1 million people buy. Blocker boots, blocker boots, blocker boots. They're in fashion today. They're in your shops now. They're selling fast. Buy blocker boots.
your imagination and of the conversation, darling. Something in his heart told him to come clean. He was not who he claimed to be. Something in his dreams told him to pretend it was something for a weekend. Oh, come on. You know you want to. But she said there is something in the woodshed. I know because I saw it. I can't simply ignore it, darling. So he said, now baby, don't be stupid. Get this into your sweet head. There ain't nothing in the woodshed except maybe some wood. Something in his heart told him to come clean. He was not who he claimed to be. Something in his dreams told him to pretend it was something for the weekend. I'll go all the way with you if you only do the same for me. Go and see if it's nothing like you say, and you can have your own good way with me. Here's something for the weekend. 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 He went down to the woodshed. They came down hard on his head. Gagged and bound and left for dead. When he woke, she was gone with his car and all of his money.
Yeah, it's Divine Comedy Week here on BBC Three Counties Radio. Tomorrow we'll have some more from the mighty pen of Neil Hannon. Now, Hitchin's new roadworks brought the town to a grinding halt yesterday, and they're set to stay for a month. Hertfordshire County Council have apologised for the inconvenience and say they'll take another look at the way traffic is being managed while works continue at the junction of Charlton Road and the A602 Parkway. They couldn't put anyone up to talk to us this morning, but hopefully someone's listening to hear when people in the town told our reporter, Tony Fisher, what was going on yesterday.
Right, so I came into Hitchin this morning. I came through Hitchin. It took me half an hour to get through Hitchin because of these roadworks at the junction with Willow Lane, Charlton Road and the Parkway. It's going on for 4 weeks. I mean, it can't continue, can it?
It seems crazy. I also don't really understand why they're doing it, because if they're trying to stop people doing that cheeky little turn up through that road, they surely should be doing something at the other end to make it more difficult for people to come onto it. It just seems to be crazy, and it's taking so long, and then it's causing chaos in the town centre as well.
Because of the knock-on effects?
Absolutely, because people are avoiding the roadworks on the Priory bypass, and they're going through, whizzing through the town, which is causing hold-ups in there.
Other people I've spoken to say it's 4 weeks of chaos for the wrong scheme.
Exactly. It just doesn't seem to be making any sense. I can't see... they say it's an accident black spot, but there have been more accidents further up that road, not at that junction.
Right, so I've taken Hillary's advice. I come into the town centre where these roadworks have also had a knock-on effect. I'm with Liz. You live in Charlton, Liz, is that
no,
right?
I live in Hitchin, off Grays Lane.
Okay.
And I was trying to get to the Willows estate yesterday, and it was absolute chaos. One of the things which was suggested was a roundabout. Probably that's going to cost more money, but at least it would keep the flow going. We're all being held up. No way through. Hitchin doesn't want that. It's supposed to be a market day today. Where is everybody?
Exactly. It's pretty quiet, isn't it?
It is very quiet.
Should there be more notices up warning people about the roadworks further afield?
I think further afield they need to be warned.
Now, last scoop of the mushroom.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, so in the centre of Hitchin, at the market, it's market day. Not interested?
Sorry, buddy.
No? Talking about the roadworks.
Not interested. It's going to affect everyone, so.
It's good. The roadwork's going to affect everyone.
Now, last scoop of that mushroom.
Okay, so that trader doesn't want to talk to me, but he says it's going to affect everyone. It is very quiet here on market day. Let's see if we can talk to another trader who may want to speak to me.
I think it's hard to say at the moment. It's early days yet, because the roadworks have only just started, haven't they?
4 weeks, though.
I know they're going on for 4 weeks. It may have an impact for people coming in from Luton. I think the biggest thing you'll find is when people are going in with rush hour traffic.
Do you live in Hitchin or work
Yeah,
in Hitchin?
Hitchin.
It seems pretty quiet in the market, in the town. Do you think that's anything to do with the roadworks up there? Do you know about the roadworks just started?
Could be, I think so. Yeah, it could I think be. So.
Charlton?
Yeah.
Junction with Charlton and the Parkway?
Yeah, could be, but
definitely, I'd say
sometimes it's usually packed here, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's normally packed. This is really quiet. We're here like nearly every Tuesday. It's much quieter.
And it's not as if the weather is particularly bad. It's quite nice.
Nothing to do with the weather. I think it's the traffic.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd definitely say so.
Well, that was Tony. Why did Tony keep the bit in there where he goes up to a trader? Do you want to talk about the block roads? Not interested. You don't want to talk about the block roads? No, not interested. Well, that trader there doesn't want to talk to me.
He has a valid point, though, doesn't he?
What?
He's not interested.
Well, Herts County Council has sent us a statement. Good for them. Well done. They should have sent us someone to talk to. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. 08459 455 555. Kelly's had an appalling idea for the show this... I mean, it's awful. It's kind of Mark Forrest territory. What is the idea that you've got?
Beds, Hearts and Bucks songs, i.e. Hitchin arrived.
That was mine when I was still playing the game.
So you're already joined in, so you're on board.
Well, I'm off... I'd like to jump off board. Man overboard.
Oh, Until There Was You.
Huh? Sorry?
Until There Was You.
But that's not a song, is it?
Until There Was You by the Beatles.
Yeah.
I've just squeezed in Amptil.
Catherine?
Ethan, reach out for me.
No, don't.
Yes, Kath.
I think it's an awful idea.
She's
Don't get me wrong.
Don't start.
08459 455 555. Or you can text this one 81333. Start your message.
Well
with
done, you got the
3CR.
text number for the right radio station.
I know.
That's great news. The only reason I'm allowing you to say this is on the air is because I have had an email from the boss saying I have to encourage more input from you. Because they're trying to justify your salary, so I've got to. But this is just awful.
I guess it also allows us to tick some boxes of places we've given a shout out to.
There we go, local and vocal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Beds, Hearts and Bucks songs. Call me now.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Starting on the speed sensors in Luton, Vauxhall Way looking heavy northbound from the Airport Way to the Eaton Green Road roundabout. And also in Welwyn Garden City, Valley Road slow going in both directions between the centre of town and the A1M. Major routes running well though, the M1 and A1M both looking fine. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. 6:15, it's Wednesday the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. I'm going to cough, excuse me. There we go. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks, which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. The Chancellor will also confirm that a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides, like the old threepenny bit. And in sport, Wycombe's 1-1 draw at Cheltenham leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. Interestingly enough, we're not mentioning Luton Town's defeat last night. 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio. If you've missed any of the programmes from the last week, you've missed things like this.
What could I do? I started to scream, of course. I didn't even have time to give my last hug, you know.
But there is a way you can hear it all again.
You're listening to a special programme on BBC Three Counties Radio, looking at the incredible story of St Albans woman Philomena Lee.
Go to bbc.co.uk/3 counties and click on Listen Again. All of our programmes are available for 7 days, allowing you to listen to what you missed. bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Alan's in Ascot. Good morning, Alan.
Morning.
Morning, Alan. What would you like to say?
Blocked passages.
Excuse me?
Blocked passages.
What's this in relation to, please? This could cover several stories we're talking about this morning.
The town that's named after something a lift.
Jeffrey?
No.
Not today, thank you.
Can you understand me? Baby, don't you hand me a line. Although it doesn't matter, you and me got plenty of time. There's nobody in the future, so baby, let me hand you my love. Oh, no step for you to dance to, so slip your hand inside my glove. I don't want no damage, but how am I gonna manage you? You want a percentage, and I'm the fool paying the dues. I'm just around the corner. If you got a minute to spare, I'll be waiting for you. If you ever wanna be there.
It's a nice song, but I guarantee 3 minutes after hearing it, you won't remember it. It's a bit. It's a bit.
That's an absolute tune.
Do you know what it is? It's Christine McVie.
Well, it's from the Mirage album. We were discussing this, which was what they did. The Fleetwood Mac did after Tusk, when Lindsey Buckingham, let's be honest, did a load of coke and disappeared somewhere where the sun don't shine. Although it probably does up Lindsey Buckingham's. And they said they kind of reined him in for the Mirage album, and it's like eating a cheese sandwich. You kind of quite like it, but
With Christine McVie songs, I tend to immediately really like them and then go off them because they don't give me anything more.
Incorrect.
No.
Incorrect.
True.
Don't stop. That's a Christine
no,
McVie song.
I've gone right off that.
Come on, how can you go off?
Gone right off that. Whereas
don't
with Buckingham...
Stop thinking about tomorrow.
No, it's been overused
Don't
for the London Marathon.
stop. It'll soon be... It'll be better than before.
No.
Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
No, boring. I fast forward that one.
Wow, you really are.
And then I like things like Silver Springs.
I love cheese sandwiches.
I could murder a cheese sandwich right now if anyone's got any. Now, yesterday we spoke to a mum from Bedfordshire who was very worried about the length of time it was taking for Bedford Hospital to help her sick baby. Remember, we spoke to Kirsty Abrahams about Isabel, who's only 7 weeks old. Lots of you phoned in with your support and your suggestions. We also spoke to Joanne Hughes from the charity Mother's Instinct. Well, Kirsty is back on the line this morning. Morning, Kirsty.
Morning.
I believe some things have been happening since yesterday's show. What's been going on?
We've now decided to bypass Bedford and go straight to Adam Brooks. And we've got an appointment on Friday at 11:30.
And how easy was it for you to do that?
Well, thanks to Joanne, she's just been an absolute diamond. I couldn't thank her enough.
This is Joanne from Mother's Instinct. What did she do to help, Kirsty? How did she help you?
I got in contact with her and she was just like, she spoke to pals at Bedford. We've also got a meeting with them next week about everything that's been going on. And she actually contacted Adam Brooks and they obviously discussed what was going on with Isabel. The lady that she spoke to said, look, get the mother to get in contact with me and we'll see what we can do. I got in contact with her and she said, look, go to your GP and get him to fax over a referral, like an urgent referral, and we'll get you an appointment this week.
Hey, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So you must. I mean, yesterday you obviously you were very, very tired, but you did sound incredibly worried. Are you feeling a bit more relieved now?
I am, yes. Just knowing that we're actually getting somewhere, and I can't believe how Bedford couldn't have done this themselves.
Yeah, it would appear to be a little bit frustrating. How is Isabel? Is she okay?
Yeah, she slept a bit better last night, and she's now drinking a bottle.
Well, there you go. Fantastic. What have you got anything nice planned for the day?
No, just playing with the kids, taking one to school.
Beautiful. That's all you need. Kirsty, well, listen, do keep in touch and let us know how things turn out, won't you?
I will.
And I wish you both the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. You see, look, so sometimes nice things can happen. Like the Beatles being played.
Yeah.
news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A5 northbound starting to build up now on the speed sensors around Dunstable. And also in Hertford town centre, Mill Bridge is slow going as you approach the A414. At the London Coney roundabout, both north orbital approaches looking busy at the moment, but public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks, which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. The Chancellor will also confirm that a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides, like the old threepenny bit. And a doctor's practice in Newport Pagnell is trying to get permission to take over the troubled Willan surgery in Milton Keynes. The Newport Pagnell Medical Centre is waiting for a decision by NHS England.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham, which leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. Morgan's goal, 11 minutes from time, came after substitute Joker 4 was brought down. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
After Cheltenham scored, we had some great chances before that. Stevie Craig's Mr. cracking chance, and we had a goal disallowed. Max Kretschmar's missed a great chance, and then they nick a goal, and our heads dropped a little bit, I'll have to admit, for 2 minutes. And they've done fantastic to get back in the game. It's a real building block for us. It's brilliant. It's a great point away from home after being 1-0 down.
Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. Here's Mike Ingham.
Didier Drogba's return and presence elevated the occasion, but the game itself was just routine for Chelsea, who scored early and late in the first half to book their place in the last 8, when they can expect a much tougher examination than this. The watching England manager Roy Hodgson will have been perked up, watching Uruguay's keeper Muslera deal unconvincingly with first Eto's strike and goal after 4 minutes, and then Terry's header in the 42nd, which dropped to Cahill to smash in the net.
Tonight, Manchester United host the Greek side Olympiacos, trailing 2-0 from the first leg. Luton's lead at the top of the conference has been cut to 11 points after Cambridge beat Welling 2-1. Luke Chadwick played for Cambridge after his loan move from MK Dons. Meanwhile, Luton are through to the Beds Senior Cup final after a team containing several first-team squad players won on penalties after a goalless draw at Barton Rovers. In Conference South, Bishop Stortford lost 1-0 at home to Concord Rangers. In the Southern League Premier Division, Biggleswade lost 2-1 at Stourbridge. Burnham lost 2-1 at Totton. And in Speedway, Rye House started the new season with a 46-44 League Cup victory at Peterborough. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Iain Lee here with Boom Shaka Laka Laka Boyle.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you. We're both feeling a little,
Wednesday.
Yeah. My alarm goes off at 4. I don't know what happened. Sometimes I used to turn my alarms off in my sleep. And I must have done that because I set it when I went to bed. I remember setting it. And suddenly it was 4:38. And I woke up in a right panic.
So what do you want me to do? Wake-up calls?
Yeah.
Really?
I tell you what you could do. Could you come and pick me up in the morning and bib your horn at 4:15?
You live quite a long way away from me, and I'm normally halfway to work by then.
Yeah.
So, no.
That's rude.
And selfish, I know.
Very much so. We'll have a look at the papers. There's not a lot in them.
Au contraire.
I tell you what, give us a little tease. We're going to play a song.
The Americans are going wild and doing things to each other for the smallest of reasons, as if they're tightly coiled springs.
Having spent a weekend in a hotel in the middle of nowhere full of Americans, I know they are all absolutely bonkers.
There's a woman here, 27, as if her age makes any difference, who has attacked someone at McDonald's for not buying her a McFlurry.
Those McFlurries are very, very delicious.
A man aged 20 was attacked because he didn't say pardon me after burping in Teague Clay, South Carolina.
Disgusting. I kind of
they
almost...
They do, like...
In America, they're obsessed with putting cream on everything. I was drinking... In this hotel I was staying in, it was literally miles from anywhere, so you had to get your sustenance from there. There was a really expensive restaurant, and there was a Starbucks. That was it. That was all you had.
Starbucks. That's what my 2-year-old calls it.
So after eating rubbish and drinking lots of coffee, I thought, I'm going to get something healthy here. I went and had a smoothie from Starbucks. An orange and mango smoothie.
Delicious.
It turned up, it was like 2 inches of whipped cream on the top. That's not the health.
Surely defeating the object.
And then for breakfast at the airport, I had a McDonald's. And I fancied it. I fancied a vanilla milkshake. So I had one. They put loads of whipped cream on the top of it.
It kind of makes me wonder, they always go on about how health conscious LA is.
Yeah.
Maybe they just eat salad.
Yeah, maybe.
More than everyone else, which is more.
08459 455 555. What happened?
Cleaner wants to come in. Should we just let him in?
Yeah, fine. He can come in if he wants.
No, he's going to wait till the light goes off.
OK, he's going to wait a long time then. Because we're doing the papers now. So, Catherine, what else have you got in the newspapers?
A huge chameleon grabs a car... Chameleon, not comedian. Johnny Vegas. Grabs a car from a road with its tongue thanks to Dotty Doodler Marty Cooper. The artist spends days planning super doodles to put his wacky creations in photos.
Yeah. Right, so it's not actually technically... Basically,
he draws on pictures.
He's done some drawings, innit?
Yeah.
That's it. Right, 084... We're struggling this morning, guys. We need your help. 08459 455 555...
Fish tank explodes at Disney World.
5.
I took a stroll on the old long walk of the day. I met a little girl and we stopped to talk on a fine soft day. And I asked your friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair is black and her eyes are blue. And I knew right then I've been taking a whirl around a Salt Hill prom with a Galway girl. Me up to her flat downtown on a fine soft day. Then I asked your friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair was black and her eyes are blue. I took her hand and I give her a twirl. Oh, and I lost my heart to a Galway girl. All alone with a broken heart and a ticket home. And I ask you now, tell me what would you do if her hair's black and her eyes are blue? 'Cause I've traveled around, I've been all over this world. Boys, I ain't never seen nothing like a Galway girl.
Now, I am a fan of the Subway sandwich chain. I can't deny it, and I'll go through periods. I haven't had one for ages, so I may go through one of those periods now where I'll have one sort of every third or fourth day for about 3 weeks, and then I'll get sick of them, and then I'll vow never to eat them again.
I think if you can get over the idea of having your sandwich filled from a cupboard where it's all wrapped up in little tubes, then you're in.
I tell you what amused me. When I was in the hotel, I remembered a word, and I've forgotten the word now. Over the sneeze catcher. Is that the thing? Over the salad counters, you know...
Is that what it is?
You get that kind of plastic cover.
Yeah.
That's a sneeze catcher.
Is it?
So that's if someone sneezes, it doesn't go on the salad. What a disgusting concept to have a sneeze catcher. As if people... Would people really sneeze over salad?
I don't see why not.
Anyway, it's in the newspapers, the Subway chain. A worker who used a bread oven at a sandwich giant Subway to dry her wet socks was rumbled after posting a picture of them online.
Silly.
Alice varies. If you're going to dry your socks in a Subway or any oven in a commercial premises, don't post them online. Alice Sykes then sent a Facebook message explaining her actions to a customer who complained about the breach of hygiene. And there's a picture of her socks and her gloves in the oven drying. She told Jessica Hinton, a regular at the branch in Worcester, her boss didn't think it fair I have wet feet for a 9-hour shift. Horrified Jessica told Yesterday of seeing the image of soggy purple socks and dark gloves laid out on heated racks used to cook bread. Alongside it, on Instagram, Alice had written, "Socks and gloves drying in the oven at work." Ha!
It's so stupid. What a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, stupid. That's the word, isn't it? Stupid.
Listen, we all do stuff. You don't need to tell everyone about it.
I once worked in the bakery department of a large supermarket chain. 2 stories, one of which I probably shouldn't tell. The one I can tell is disgusting enough. One of my jobs was to get the big, massive, dough from the dough making machine into the bread making, the bun making machine. So you put it in, the kind of all squidgy dough, and it would come out as bun shape. Then you put them in on trays and put them in the oven. How much dough am I holding here? I don't...
About a laundry basket.
I've got like a laundry basket's worth of dough, but it's not in anything, you're just holding it, right? And so it's all dripping everywhere, and it all fell on the floor, right? And I picked it up, oh, blimey, I'm in trouble here. I picked it up, and it was covered in dirt, and there was like little bits of grit and horrible stuff like that. And so I just put it in the roll-making machine. And if any of them came out with little obvious bits of grit, I just put them back in until it got mixed out. That is disgusting, isn't it?
It really is, but I used to work in a cafe.
Yeah.
And, I was about 17 and didn't do anything at home. My mum used to do everything.
Yeah.
And so they put me on sandwich making duty on my first day, and they gave me a big bowl of salad and some fillings. They told me how to make the sandwiches so they looked full, but they weren't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you put it all down the middle.
Yeah, clever. I've had those sandwiches.
So I made the sandwiches up and I got to the bottom of the bowl of salad.
Yeah.
And there were all little beetles in there.
Oy.
And I didn't realise I had to wash it. So, sorry.
We can make that story more dramatic. So, tell me the story again, ending on there are all little beetles in there.
I got to the bottom of the bowl of salad, having made these sandwiches in the way that they told me, and there were a load of beetles in the bottom.
Oh, hang on, I've got the fader down. Right, do it again.
Right, okay.
Go.
So I made these sandwiches the way they told me to.
Yeah.
Got to the bottom of the bowl of salad, full of beetles.
It was worth it. It was almost worth it.
I went to try and get the sandwiches back.
Are we finished?
Can you do it again?
Okay, yeah.
They'd all been sold.
Oh, no. But...
Hang on.
Go.
I went to get the sandwiches back.
Yeah.
They'd all been sold. Oh.
The other story is even worse.
Is this a sandwich story?
This is the other transferring the dough into the... But if you've got bad hygiene stories from where you've worked in places, don't mention the places, obviously, but 08459 455 555.
Or stuff you're glad you didn't post on Instagram.
Yes, exactly. It was the same story as putting the buns in until the thing had... But I cut my finger.
No!
I'd cut my finger.
Just leave it.
Some of those buns were pink.
Oh.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, a fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime,
moonlights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning, a fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever, that is something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing, fever started long ago.
What a great idea!
Romeo loved Juliet, Juliet, she felt the same. When he put his arms around her, he said, Julie, baby, you're my flame, now give us fever. When we kiss it, fever with thy flaming youth. Fever, I'm a fire, fever, yea, I burn forsooth. Captain Smith and Pocahontas had a very mad affair. When her daddy tried to kill him, she said, Daddy, oh, don't you dare give me fever. With his kisses, fever when he holds me tight. Fever, I'm his missus. Daddy, won't you treat him right? Now you've listened to my story. Here's the point that I have made. Chicks were born to give you fever, be it Fahrenheit or centigrade, to give you fever.
We get the idea.
When you kiss them,
Yeah, we got the idea.
if you live,
A bit late for travel, so I'm just going to have to... There's no subtle way of doing this.
till you sizzle.
Just going to do it.
Travel news for beds.
There's even less subtle way of doing it.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
I don't think anyone noticed. It's fine.
Thanks, Alice.
That's okay. Looking on the speed sensors in Cheshunt, the A10 southbound, slow going between Turnford and College Road at the moment. Also in Borehamwood, the A1 southbound struggling between Stirling Corner and the Watford bypass. The M25 starting to look busy now. Anti-clockwise is heavy going between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Public transport, that's looking good. We've got no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice. 6:46. It's Wednesday, the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. I'm nearly 41. It's just dawned on me.
What's that like?
Well, it's old. Hang on, March, April, May, June. Under 3 months, I'm 41 years old. How has that just hit me?
I remember when you turned 40.
Oh, man. What a moment to have a crisis of confidence and question my existence.
No, you're doing all right.
Thanks very much. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. The Chancellor will also confirm that a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides. It will look like threepenny bits. And in sport... Wycombe drew 1-1 at Cheltenham, and Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League. Although I don't think Luton Town did very well last night. We'll find out more about that a bit later on. Let's get the weather.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. Well, we've got a bit of cloud around first thing this morning, but it's quite high cloud. We're already seeing some brightness through, particularly in parts of Buckinghamshire and Bedfordshire. The rest of us will eventually see it and we'll get some hazy sunshine. It's actually going to feel really rather pleasant and warm today. We've still got a southwesterly breeze, but once that cloud moves a little bit, it is going to warm up quite nicely, and we're looking at a maximum temperature later on of 17, maybe even 18 Celsius, and the breeze isn't going to be reflected in the temperature at all either. Now, overnight, we've got some cloud moving in from the south and the west eventually. We're hanging on to the breeze as well, but those things combined mean it is going to be a relatively mild night, the minimum down to 7, maybe 8 Celsius, but it marks the change, I'm afraid. A much cooler day tomorrow, a lot more cloud. It's thicker cloud. Nothing's really going to penetrate it. We might have a little 1 or 2 spots of rain as well for a time through tomorrow. We're hanging on to the breeze too, and the temperature's only getting up to around 13 or 14 Celsius, so really get out there and enjoy this afternoon, as the temperature is going to be at its warmest this week. And that's your forecast.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm being told that Luton Town didn't play last night.
No, they didn't.
That would be why they didn't do so well. But
They did all right by not playing.
They played the night before and they lost.
I can give you what my husband said about that.
Yeah, go on.
Well, it was bound to happen. We'll be back up again.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
I like behind the church, where you can walk round through the back of the church, right round over the broad walk there.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
We've been here as a family business for 40 years, selling to the high street.
And all this week, we're featuring Newport Pagnell.
There are lots of places you can see the sense of community. For instance, the Methodist Church just up here has a coffee morning.
If you've got a story everyone should hear about, let us tell them about it.
Come and enjoy the hospitality. There's always a smiling face.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks, featuring Newport Pagnell. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right. We've got 2 songs queued up, right? And they're both complete and utter guff. George Michael, Let Her Down Easy, or Gary Barlow, Let Me Go. Well, we'll let both of you go, gentlemen. We'll come up with something a little bit better.
I quite like Gary Barlow.
Oh, mate, it's
Yeah.
like being sung to by an estate agent.
I quite like estate. No, I don't.
I don't like estate agents. You do us a story from the papers.
Well, let's talk about Threepenny Bits.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
When I first saw this story, I thought, why on earth are they fiddling with something that works?
Why would you fiddle with Threepenny Bits?
Well, I mean, why would you fiddle with the old nugget pound coin? We're
Yeah.
all familiar with it. You can pick it out in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know what it is before you look at it.
Easy to fake, to forgerise. 3% or 3%, let's say, of all pound coins are forgerised.
Is that why they don't go into machines very well, and sometimes you have to do various things to them?
How do you get your pound coins to work in a machine?
I have a number of methods,
Go
and
on.
I have one that I will not do.
You won't do the suck?
No.
Do you not do the
I won't
suck?
lick. I've heard if
Suck.
you lick one side, what I do is I rub it on the machine. Get the static off. I don't know whether that does that. Put it in. Other ways I do is I take a run up and like proper fire it in with a spin on it.
What? A spin? So I do a spin sometimes. All right, we get the idea, Kelly. You've got some songs for us queued up. Thank you. You've got some better songs. Got a nice little choice there. I suck it. If I can't get it to go in the hole, I will suck it.
That is the reason. You are the reason I tell my daughters not to put money in their mouths.
Hey, I was charged with static electricity all weekend.
Why?
I don't know. Everything. I went to the toilets. Every time I touched the door thrice. Is there an equivalent of once, twice, thrice for 4, or does it stop there? Once, twice, thrice, 4 times.
We need something else. What would you call it?
Frost?
Thrice?
No.
No.
So, but I touched the toilet. I was in the toilet, screaming out in agony.
Fourfold. Oh, you were screaming in agony in the toilet? I'm
Yeah.
sure that went down very well.
Seriously, I went in the toilet. I touched the door. Oh, like that.
Was there anyone else in there at the time?
Not with me.
Right. Okay. Good.
In the next cubicle, there probably was. They have the toilet doors in they call them stalls.
Yeah.
In America, the doors are very low at the top and very high at the
Yeah,
bottom.
I know.
Hey, I don't feel comfortable doing it.
It's like a privé or something.
I don't like that in the slightest. I don't like that in the slightest. Should we play a record, or do you want to do a
Have
story?
we finished talking about coins now?
Oh no, we've not even started it, have we? Go.
So forgeries.
Yep.
And you said that. Call me now. How'd you get your penny in the?
Goodness sakes.
What?
We had a great opportunity there to do some groundbreaking radio, and you muffed it up.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
You can't be late for Matthew and Son. He won't wait. Watch them run down the platform 1 and the 8:30 train to Matthew and Son. sun, the work's never done, there's always something new. The palms in your hand, you take them to bed, you're never ever through. And they've been working all day, all day, all day. There's a 5-minute break, and that's all you take for a cup of cold coffee and a piece of cake. Matthew and Son, the work's never done, there's always something new. The palms in your hand, you take them to bed, you're never ever through. And they've been working all day, all day, all day. He's got people who've been working for 50 years. No one asks for more money, cause nobody dares, even though they're pretty low and their rent's in arrears. Matthew and Son, Matthew and Son, Matthew and Son, Matthew and Son. And they've been working all day, all day, all day. Matthew and Son, Matthew and Son.
I mean,
Matthew and Son.
so Kelly Betts. There's been, from the bosses, who... Remember when they told me I had to call us the morning crew? Well, I managed to get that changed. My agent had strong words with them about that. But the trade-off was Kelly Betts has to have more airtime. BBC's all about developing young talent. And I said, well, you got... Starting with a blind horse, then. Blind
Did they horse? say I was talent?
Well, they are encouraging new talent, and I argued that they were starting at the wrong point. They should be getting Ollie, work experience lad, to come
he's
in.
very good, isn't he?
He
Very
is
good.
He is brilliant. But they said, no, you're stuck with Kelly Betts. So, Kelly, you've come up with a phone-in today, which I'm hoping doesn't take off. Tell us a little bit about it.
Betts, Hearts and Bucks songs. Call me now. 08459 455 555. Hitching a ride.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah,
Before I
I'm just
realised it was a
saying
bad
them.
idea. The only...
Wait, Until There Was You. Heath and Reach Out For Me.
Yeah. The only...
08459
The only person to take...
455 555.
The only person to take part in this is Linda.
Yeah,
on
but we said it in the first hour when
Twitter.
no one listened.
Well,
Take off now.
Linda on Twitter has sent 2 tweets packed full of
Linda.
fun. Are you going to let me read them or?
I would love to hear them.
Tring Tring, ABBA.
That's good.
Go Western,
Nice.
Only You by Yazoo.
I love that
That's my favourite.
Tell It to My Hartford by Taylor Dane. That's quite a good one, actually.
Nice.
Tell it to my heart.
She was quite butch, Taylor Dane, wasn't she?
She was frightening. She was sort of Anastasia.
Oh, I had such a crush on Anastasia. Really? Such a crush. I'm out of love. What was Anastasia's big hit?
That one.
Oh. What was the other big hit she had?
That one again, but with a different name.
I'm out of love. Set me free. And Cotton End Joe by the Rednecks.
Cotton End Joe.
Oh, she is good.
Well, she's good in as much as she's really taken the hook of your terrible phone-in idea and literally gone with it.
08459 455 555 or text 81333. Start your message with 3CR.
Here's some potentially good news for the people on the 3CR Gripe page who hate me and that other fella who hates me even more. If this phone-in takes off, I will quit. It means... No. What?
I mean,
It means I've completely misunderstood what phone-in radio should be about.
Well, we're name-checking where people live in a really fun, happy manner.
I will just read out a list of names. Give me a list of names to read. I'm happy to do that.
No, but this makes it fun.
St Albans.
St Albans.
Stevenage.
No, but
Shaking
you've got to put them
Stevenage.
into a song.
Shaking Stevenage.
Let's see where you're going with that.
No?
Yeah?
Right.
I'll take that.
Okay.
Woe Burning Love.
No.
Is that a no or a nice?
That's nice.
Okay.
3 Stepping Leads to Heaven. Is that okay?
Yep. There's no wrong ones.
I don't-
As long as they're place names in the 3 counties.
I don't get what the fun element of this is.
Oh, I'm having fun. You're not having fun? Look at the smile on my face. Look how big it is.
Are you having fun, Kath?
We're a couple of swells.
But I'm not having fun.
Yeah, but you never have fun.
Like,
Newton, me, are everything.
right, okay, this is a bit stupid now.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the speed sensors in Leighton Buzzard, the A4146 is heavy in both directions at the Billington Road roundabout. And also in Luton, Vauxhall Way, heavy going in both directions between Airport Way and the Eaton Green Road. In Harpenden, the High Street looking slow, again in both directions around the Station Road. And the M25 anti-clockwise heavy between junctions 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much indeed. And if you want to play in this game, then, well, you know, what can I do? Right, lots coming up in the next hour of the show, including the roadworks that have been taking place. We had lots of complaints about roadworks yesterday in Hitchin. Have they affected you? We'll talk about that and more after the news with Simon Oxley.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines: criticism of roadworks chaos in Hertfordshire town, new pound announced on budget day, and 400-year-old tree for new Bedfordshire resort.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning, with the roadworks set to last for 4 weeks. These people were affected yesterday by the works at the junction of Charlton Road and the A602 Parkway.
It just seems to be crazy, and it's taking so long, and then it's causing chaos in the town centre as well.
Trying to get to the Willows estate yesterday, and it was absolute chaos.
We're waiting for the bus at Luton Airport. He says Nola Road. He says just chock-a-block from Hitchin right up to Stevenage.
George Osborne will present his 5th budget at lunchtime today. It's thought the Chancellor will try to cut the energy costs facing businesses, as well as increase house building. It's also been confirmed that a new pound coin will be produced. From 2017, it will have 12 sides, like the old threepenny bit, and 2 different metals. Andrew Mills is from the Royal Mint.
Certainly we wanted to suggest something that would be iconically British, and therefore the reference to the threepenny bit, which is fondly remembered by many people in the UK. The other thing that's very important to us is the security of UK coinage. So we believe a 12-sided coin is a deterrent to counterfeiting.
A meeting's been held to discuss what lessons can be learned from the recent flooding in Aylesbury. Around 80 homes on the Willows estate were flooded when the area was battered by heavy rain. More from Matt Lockwood.
The meeting discussed a range of measures to protect homes in the Willows estate. One of the ideas put forward was a flood defence barrier. The County Council's currently producing a report about flooding on the Willows estate. It will look at what went wrong and what can be done to make sure the same mistakes don't happen in the future. It's expected to be published in the next 6 weeks.
A spokesman for President Putin has said Russia has no plans for military intervention in the east of Ukraine. Mr. Putin signed a treaty yesterday confirming that Crimea in the south of Ukraine was to become part of the Russian Federation. A doctor's practice in Newport Pagnell is trying to get permission to take over the troubled Willan surgery in Milton Keynes, which closed down suddenly last April. The Newport Pagnell Medical Centre is waiting for a decision by NHS England. The first tropical plants that will live in the new centre parks in Bedfordshire are being delivered. They'll form part of the Woburn Forest Resort, which is due to open in June. The landscape manager is Richard Watson.
Probably the most notable one is a 400-year-old fig tree which John saved from a Buddhist monastery in Indonesia.
In sport, a second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham, which leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. And Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. The weather dry and sunny after a hazy start, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
What a great idea! A shoe built on blocks. I'll call them Blocker boots! We'll sell 1 million!
Blocker boots, they're in fashion today.
Blocker boots are neat! They go with your feet! Blocker boots are so high! They've made 1 million people buy!
Blocker boots, they're in fashion today.
They're in your shops now! They're selling fast!
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's always been a lovely town.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
It's a welcoming town. I think if you moved here and didn't know anybody, you would settle in quite quickly.
All this week, we're featuring Newport Pagnell.
A lot of my family live here, so sometimes we go out with them in the pubs or to the restaurants and things.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Suddenly, it's the 19th of March. Isn't time getting faster? I'm beginning to wonder what's the point of doing things. Because, no, I thought this after the weekend. What's the point of doing things? Because they're over so quickly. Do you know what I mean, Catherine?
Yeah, so let's do nothing.
Well, this is kind of I had this amazing weekend, right? It cost me a lot of money, and I've been looking forward to it. Then suddenly I was on the plane coming... Suddenly I'm not even on the plane coming home. It's 2 days after.
But the memories last.
What memories?
The memories you had from the weekend.
I don't really remember a lot.
Remember that time that you were in America at the weekend?
Yeah, but what's the point of doing it? I could have saved the money and stayed here. I just don't think there's any point in doing anything these days.
Fill your soul with joy and keep the memories.
What are you doing next?
The menu?
No, I mean generally in life, what are you doing next? That's the plan, isn't it? You've got to have something else to look forward to. They're like little stepping stones in your year.
I'm not going to do anything ever again.
Just do the menu then.
Yeah, I will do. Coming up this morning, block roads, block drains and blocker boots. Oh, and this silly thing where you've got to think of a song title that has the name of somewhere in Beds, Hearts or Bucks or something. I don't know. We've had another one on the tweet machine thingy, Bob. Let me just find it for you. Hang on. Carolyn says, the Croxley green grass of home. Please don't quit. Well, Facebook.com/BBC3CR. Send me a text, 81333. Start your text 3CR or give me a call, 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, Hitchin was brought to a standstill yesterday, and the roadworks at the root of the problem are set to stay for, guess how long? Yeah, another 4 weeks. Hertfordshire County Council have apologised for the inconvenience to people trying to get through the town and say they'll have another look at how traffic's being managed while improvements continue at the junction of Charlton Road and the A602 Parkway. Well, Justin Dealey has been there this morning.
Well, Paul, you're a local. Tell us just how bad these roadworks are here.
It's not great. Obviously, the traffic queues up right back as far as the Three Moorhens every evening or every day. And then a lot of local people are not happy about the fact that the roadworks are changing full stop in this the method that they've chosen. A lot of people, especially my family, they have to walk through these roadworks, and my wife walks to work every day because it's not worth actually getting the car out to get just stuck in the traffic and go nowhere.
Really? So your wife would normally drive into work in the town centre. Now, since Monday, she's been walking.
She's been walking, yeah. So
simply not worth the hassle.
It's not worth the hassle, no. And a lot of the people actually still use the street we live in as a kind of a cut-through to get to, because you can actually come back onto this road and turn right back onto the A505. So up here in Cranbourne Avenue, you'll find a lot of people just cutting through, not necessarily knowing exactly where they're going, so they just bomb around and it becomes a rat run.
And it's really that bad here?
It's not ideal. I mean, the reason it was closed off further down was because it was a rat run. And then years and years ago it was changed to make it no entry on one of the slip roads. But yeah, some people still use it. I've seen it myself in the last Monday and Tuesday. They've actually been coming up the slip road. In fact, they shouldn't actually, it's a one-way street, so they shouldn't be coming up it. But people just take the risk because it's a pain in the backside to go through here.
Well, here's Nick. Nick's not driving, he's running this morning. We've stopped him for a second. You know people that have been really badly affected by these roadworks, don't you?
I have so far, yeah.
Tell us what's been happening.
I know one woman who took an hour and a half to get from Stevenage to Luton.
An hour and a half?
Yep. In the afternoon, late afternoon.
Wow, 4 weeks of this. Can the town cope?
Yeah, it's going to be a mess, isn't it? It's going to be a real mess.
People are saying to me that the work they're doing is not worth it anyway. Would you go along with that?
The argument should be about a roundabout being there rather than no right turn. That's what people are saying. I don't know why they're not putting a roundabout.
That poor fella that Justin stopped who was running. You could hardly speak. Justin Dealey. We're joined now by John Pearce, who lives in the nearby village of Charlton. Morning, John.
Good morning, Ian.
John, how close are you to these works?
About 500 or 600 yards.
Oh, right, OK. What impact are they having?
Well, pretty chaotic so far this week, as the other people you've spoken to. Hitchin did seem to come to a standstill yesterday, pretty much the day before. Everyone's looking for an alternative route. As predicted, they're going through small villages, the lanes, that are not geared to take that traffic.
Did you get much warning about this, John?
Yes, I don't know how extensive it was, but a local residents received a letter from the Herts County Council the end of last year saying that this work was going to take place. We were given a map of what they planned to do, and we were asked for comments, which many of us fed back. Pretty similar comments along the lines of we didn't feel that what they were planning was going to address their concerns, which were safety concerns from the junction. We got a fairly standard letter back saying that they had looked at all the options and what they were doing was the best one. So fairly unhappy with that. I wrote to the local press last week expressing my concerns that this might not be the best solution, and I also predicted that there would be chaos on the roads, and pretty much that's come through.
Herts County Council won't come on this morning. They sent us a statement, which I'm not really that inclined to read out. I prefer if people come on. But they do say in that statement that it is the site has been identified as hazardous with a number of recorded injury accidents. You're not confident that this work will actually change that?
Not particularly. The analysis they did in the letter to me, they said it was based on a 3-year period from 2009 to 2012. I'm not sure why they pick a 3-year period. Surely they should look on a much broader period of time. The key issue is that they are addressing an issue of turning right off of Parkway into Charlton Road. If you talk to the vast majority of people around here, they will say that's not the problem. The problem is turning right from Charlton Road into Parkway. That is the really dangerous manoeuvre, and I don't think that's being addressed. And I think many of us have suggested that a roundabout would be a better option.
John, I appreciate your time. Do keep in touch with us and let us know how it goes. You've got another 4 weeks of this. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Lee, morning, Lee.
Morning.
Now, you're from Hitchin, are you?
Yes, I am, yeah. I live over the other side of Hitchin. I actually live over the Ickleford side of Hitchin.
OK.
Travel predominantly into London, so quite often go down the M1. But my parents actually live on the estate that's in between Charlton Road and Upper Tyler House Street. So frequently I have to drop my children off there 3 times a week. Now, usually what I would do is head through the town, past the library, down onto the bypass and then turn right, obviously avoiding all of the traffic that is queuing to go up to Luton. Yesterday morning it was an absolute nightmare, mainly because I got onto Bedford Road and traffic was queuing all the way from Butts Close. Wow. And I think I've got to agree with your previous caller, John. You know, I don't think traffic turning right into that turning is the problem. It's the traffic coming out and turning right to head towards Stevenage.
So you don't think that what they're doing is actually going to address the problem?
Not at all, and it's going to continue to have traffic backed up. I mean, I can't see that problem now going away, because it's obviously caused a huge tailback all the way through the town, and now that people are continuing, not being able to turn right, it's going to be a nightmare.
Have Herts County Council messed this one up, do you think, Lee?
Yes, I think they have, completely.
Thank you very much for your time. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Have a look at some of the front page of the Daily Mail. £1 coin is to be scrapped. The £1 coin is to be scrapped. New version will be shaped like old threepenny bit. The only good thing I can see coming from this, Catherine, is we can say threepenny bits again.
Yeah, OK.
They kind of fell out
Didn't
of...
you say it the first time?
Said it the first time, yeah.
I mean, around the first time. You remember them, don't you?
Get lost. No, I don't know what threepenny bit is. I was born after metric.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was kind of that confused period where I was taught metric and imperial.
I don't get it either. And then my parents would try to explain it to me, and it's something about 12p.
I know. LSD, wasn't it? It was LSD.
Yeah.
I know my height in feet. I don't know anything about metres. I know my weight in... Well, I don't know it now, but I used to know my weight in stones.
Yes. I can imagine a mile, but not a kilometre.
Yeah. Crazy.
Pints.
But I would run the 400 metres, not the 500 yards, 200 yards.
And I measure in centimetres, not inches.
Oh, it depends what I'm measuring. Steady. If I am measuring furniture, I measure in inches. If I'm measuring men's things, and I mean that as in, like things you might have in a garage or something.
OK, I don't know what you mean.
I will measure it in inches. If I'm measuring other things, I'll do it in centimetres.
OK. What have they done to us? They just completely
Screwed
messed
us
us
up, man. That was some kind of mental abuse that was going on in the... Anyway, we can say threepenny bits, which is great because it's rude. 70s language. There is a language of the 1970s, and youngsters won't understand it. But threepenny bits, Bristols, things like that. Just
calling people a nerk.
Yeah, what?
I think that's supposed to be a polite version of Burke, which is actually very, very rude.
You can say Burke, Michael Burke, for example, but if you look at the history...
Comes from a very rude root.
Very, very naughty. The 70s, very, very naughty indeed. We might be getting Paul Scoins later on to talk about the budget, is that right?
Yeah.
What time is that so I can go and make a cup of tea?
8:20. I've told him to make it fun.
Do we need some jazzy music or something? I know exactly what the kind of music we need underneath.
Good.
We'll play Je t'aime or something.
No, we need something snazzier than that. We need something dynamic.
OK, you find some dynamic music.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll play it underneath Paul Scoins later on as he makes the budget fun.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Hemel Hempstead, on the speed sensors, the A414 heading towards the M1 is slow going from the centre of town, and the A5 southbound slow as you approach Markyate. In St Albans, St Peter Street struggling in both directions at Hatfield Road. And on the M25 anti-clockwise, things looking very slow now between junction 18 for Chorleywood and 16 for the M40. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. I've just seen I've got 9 direct tweets on Twitter. I'll get to those in a minute. 7:16. It's Wednesday, the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks, which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his 5th budget at lunchtime today. It's also been confirmed that a new £1 coin will be produced with 12 sides like the old threepenny bits. And in sport, Wycombe drew 1-1 at Cheltenham in League 2, and Luton's lead at the top of the conference has been cut to 11 points after Cambridge beat Welling. Oh dear, poor Luton.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
How about a bit of murder and death, particularly local murder and death from the 19th century?
I mean, one of the crimes in the book, I think there's a potential there for miscarriage of justice.
Here until 3 o'clock this afternoon. More great music to come in the next 2.5 hours. Every once in a while, I like a little bit of epic on this programme.
Nick Coffer.
Today, I'm just outside of Aylesbury at Stoke Mandeville. I'm at Hula, which is an animal rescue centre
in the paediatrics ward of the L&D Hospital.
I'm in St Albans.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, Scott on Twitter has gone nuts with this. Kelly, just explain this fun idea you've got again.
It's a fun idea. Beds, Hearts and Bucks songs. 08459 455 555.
Okay.
For example, Linda on Twitter. Only you.
Okay.
Because there's a place called Olney.
Scott's done loads. You
yes,
ready?
Scott, yes. I'm always ready for Scott.
Where do you go to, my lovely?
Yeah, because of where? No.
Yeah, that's it. Union Welling Garden City Blues.
Brilliant.
I left my Hartford in San Francisco.
Nice.
Hi, Jamie.
Tell her to keep...
Jamie's on the line.
Brock's born in the USA. That's quite a good one. This is rubbish. Newport Pagnell, brackets, sounds like New York, New York. That one doesn't work. Somewhere Wendover the rainbow. The Winslow takes it all.
Nice.
Hi, Jamie.
Slash and Woburn.
Perfect.
Yeah?
08459 455 555. Keep them coming.
Okay, they really are. Well, no, don't necessarily keep...
Yes, do.
No.
Yes.
Does Jamie and Dunstable want to play this silly game?
I don't know.
Or does he want to make a serious point about something relevant? Oh, here we go. Jamie and Dunstable.
Good morning.
Morning, Jamie. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I was just saying about the new electric thing. Here's what...
Oh, yeah, go on.
Your car wheels, 16-inch wheel.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but the width is measured centimetres. So you've got a 25 centimetre footprint,
yep,
but with a 17-inch wheel.
That is nuts. That is nuts.
So you've got both measurements on your wheel.
Oh, you're talking about measurements?
Yeah.
I can't... Say it again, because your line broke up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, on your wheel,
yes,
you've got a 17-inch wheel.
Yeah.
But the footprint is still measured in centimetres, so it'll be 225 centimetres across.
Wow.
So when you buy it, you will have some measurements, and it'll be 225 centimetres for argument's sake.
Yeah.
But the diameter will still be in inches.
How do we survive in the modern world, Jamie? It's too confusing.
It's mad. It's a mixture of kilometres and miles an hour, and metres and inches.
Jamie, the line's not great, but I don't think the listeners noticed, but we'll let you go. Thank you for that. I don't know what a kilometre is. I know what a mile is. I don't know what kilometres per hour. I don't know what that means. Kilometres per hour? So if I do... Is 80 kilometres per hour faster than 70 miles per hour? I've just got no idea. I've got no concept. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, last month, we told you how floodwater had seeped into about 80 houses on the Willows estate in Aylesbury. A nearby brook had overflowed, but there was also a suspicion that the drains were blocked. People who lived there had to decide whether to stay put or, like Lindsay Hancock, get out and wait for a break in the weather.
The water was to the front and the back door, and then it started coming up from underneath the floor, and it came up to about the skirting boards, which... You know, it's not as bad as, some other people have had it, but it's enough to do, I think it's been estimated about £20,000 worth of damage.
Goodness gracious me, incredible.
So it's everything downstairs that was touching the floor, all of the flooring, the furniture, everything really, that we couldn't move upstairs.
Fun times. Well, Karen Fisher is the County Council's lead officer for flood management. Karen, do we know what the cause of this was?
Well, obviously it was a period of very heavy rainfall, and the Stoke Brook came up. At the moment, the County Council are doing an investigation to look at exactly what happened.
Were the drains involved?
Sorry?
Were the drains involved? A lot of the residents were suggesting that the drains were blocked.
Yes, that's what we've heard from the residents, and certainly the water was coming up from the drains, but that may have been the water backing up from the Stokes Brook. But obviously we don't want to prejudge the situation until we've, properly investigated it.
It's been a disaster, hasn't it, for the people who live there? What lessons can be learnt from this?
Yeah, I mean, flooding is terrible for those people who have been affected, and our thoughts are very much with them. The thing that we're keen to do is to work together with everybody, the County Council, the District Council, the Environment Agency, obviously the emergency services were involved, and we'll be speaking to them, and the local residents, because they have the knowledge about their area and what happened, and we very much are keen to work with them.
Does there need to be better communication between the various agencies and the residents?
Yes, I think that's certainly one of the things that we'll be looking at is the communication. There is good communication and partnership working between the agencies, but certainly that will be one of the things we're looking at in the investigation and how we can communicate with the local residents and use their knowledge.
You're producing a report into what can be learnt from this. When can we expect that to be published?
That should be in around 6 weeks' time. We're making this a priority amongst a number of other investigations that we're doing across the county.
Karen, I appreciate your time this morning. Karen Fisher, County Council's lead officer for flood management.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
That's the phone number if you want to give us a call. Oh, dear. Lynn's on the line. Morning, Lynn. Morning, Lynn. Lynn? 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 Oh, she's turning her radio off, is she? Lynn! 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 Lynn!
Sorry.
Oh, for goodness. Where have you been?
I was turning my radio off.
What, is it in the East Wing or something?
I was in the East Wing, yes. Unfortunately, the butler's not in today.
Oh, he's got a day off, has he?
Couple of things for you, darling.
Yes, if any of them involve songs with local names, then I'm going to go right off you, my love.
I'm afraid one does.
Oh, nuts. Go on.
Stopsley, in the name of love, before you break my heart.
Oh, because like Stopsley?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Stop in the Name of Love?
No, Stopsley, in the name of love, before you break my heart.
Yeah, so it's like Stopsley.
It is Stopsley, but it's Stop the song, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's Stopsley, it's based on Stopsley.
Yeah.
And it's also based on Stop in the Name of Love.
Yes.
So Stopsley in the Name of Love.
Yes.
I'm finding it really... Look, Kelly Betts is literally wetting herself with laughter at this. Lynn, I'm struggling to get enthused about this.
Oh, that's someone else.
The other thing I wanted to say...
Yes, Lynn?
I don't think you should threaten to resign quite so lightly, because I think you'll find the chap that stood in for you is jolly good.
He was very good, wasn't he?
Safraz Mansour.
And also, he wasn't rude to anybody.
Well, that's going to be his downfall.
Oh, and when's your birthday?
Sorry? You're nuts. You're nuts this morning, Lynn. You're all over the shop. You've been sipping at the Cowpole or something.
What date is your birthday?
June the 9th.
I thought it was this month.
No, it's April, May. I'm just under 3 months away from being 41.
Well, don't worry about it. I'm 60 in September.
I know, and it sounds hellish.
Area.
It sounds hellish.
And also, why change the pound coin? What's the matter with these people?
Well, it means we can say Thrupney Bits.
I know, but we all know what that rhymes with. I do remember Thrupney Bits.
You'd love to get your hands on some Thrupney Bits again, wouldn't you, Lynn? I bet it's been a while.
Mine were mentioned as rather good Thrupney Bits, as I recall, so...
Yeah. Lynn, you're a mucky old pup. We'll say ta-ta.
Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye, bye-bye. How good was Safras when he filled in for me?
He was excellent.
I mean,
Brilliant. It made me realise what radio was supposed to be
What
like.
it could be.
What it could be, yeah.
But, I mean, not as good as me, though.
Well, he was different from you.
He's different, exactly, different, and therefore not as good.
We were thinking of you the whole time.
But we were also thinking, wow, he's good.
Fred's in Luton. Morning, Fred.
Good morning.
Did you hear Safraz Mansour when he filled in for me?
Sorry?
Yeah. Did you hear the gentleman who filled in for me?
Yes.
Was he any good?
Yes.
Who was best, me or him?
The comparisons are different.
Yeah. So who was best, me or him?
I've got to be kind, I suppose, as you're on air.
Not the enthusiastic show of support I was expecting from my loyal listeners. Fred, what have you called in about this morning?
I am a highfalutin, tootin', shootin' son of the gun from Arizona.
Well, that's great to know, but why have you called in this morning?
That's why.
Oh, it's a song title!
I'm a highfalutin, tootin', shootin' son of the gun from Arizona, yes.
I don't know that song, Fred. Who is that by?
Oh, goodness me. How many years do you want me to go back?
560.
It's way back into my youth.
Wow, oh gosh, it is 500.
I'm heading for my 93rd.
When is your 93rd birthday?
In May.
In May, OK. I'm dreading being 41. You're over twice my age. Is it all downhill from here?
No, man. the best is still to come.
Fred, you're a good sport. Thank you very much for calling.
Cheers.
Speak to you soon. Ta-ta. Well, there we go. No man. No man.
What was that song again?
I'm a highfalutin, rootin', tootin' son of a gun. Can I have a clip of that, please? I can also have a clip of Fred saying no man. Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555 is the telephone. Can we get... I've just realised Fred was really rude to me. Oh, I'll be nice to you because you're on the line. Yeah, you were best. Well, no.
The thing Fred has and the thing that Sarfraz has
is
the ability to... be subtle.
I can be subtle.
And diplomatic.
And they were charming.
And charming.
I'm
most of all.
Yeah.
I'm charming. What are you talking about? I'm well charming. I'm being charming now. Would you like a cup of tea, madam?
No, that's not charming. That's... yes, I would like a cup of tea.
Would you like to... Excuse me, madam. Would you like to sit on this chair?
What's that special voice?
That's my charming voice.
You're moving your hands and head like a puppet.
Excuse me, madam. Would you like me to carry your bags for you? I can be charming.
You know what? It's good, but it's just not Sarfraz, is
nice try.
Madam, please, let me open this door for you. I will cross you across the road. I'll cross you the road.
You need to work on that.
It's charming.
It's not.
For goodness sakes, I'm charm personified.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Black Cat roundabout, there are queues on the A1 southbound from Eton Soken. Also on the speed sensors in Hitchin, the A602 heading towards the centre of town is slow going from the Sunnyside Road. The A5 southbound slow going through Markyate. And on the M25 anti-clockwise, there are queues between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you so much for the travel, Alice. I look forward to hearing more from you later on.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. It's also been confirmed that a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides like the old threepenny bit. And a county council report into the recent flooding in Aylesbury is expected to be published in around 6 weeks' time. Around 80 homes on the Willows estate were flooded when the area was battered by heavy rain.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham last night, which leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. Morgan's goal, 11 minutes from time, came after substitute Joe Kaffour was brought down. His manager, Gareth Ainsworth.
After Cheltenham scored, we had some great chances before that. You know, Stevie Craig's missed a cracking chance, and we had a goal disallowed. Max Kretschmar's missed a great chance, and then they nick a goal, and our heads dropped a little bit, I'll have to admit, for 2 minutes. And they've done fantastic to get back in the game. It's a real building block for us. It's brilliant. It's a great point away from home after being 1-0 down.
Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. Samuel Eto'o and Gary Cahill scored first half goals for Jose Mourinho's side.
Very good performance, very solid, very compact, no fears. I think very good approach to the game, because 1-1 is a difficult result. Even when you are winning 2-0 is difficult. If they score 1 goal, you are in the limit. And I think the team was very, very solid, very confident and very much in control for the 90 minutes.
Tonight, Manchester United host the Greek side Olympiacos, trailing 2-0 from the first leg. Luton's lead at the top of the conference has been cut to 11 points after Cambridge beat Welling 2-1. Luke Chadwick played for Cambridge after his loan move from MK Dons. Meanwhile, Luton are through to the Beds Senior Cup final after a team containing several first-team squad players won on penalties after a goalless draw at Barton Rovers. In Conference South, Bishop Stortford lost 1-0 at home to Concord Rangers. In the Southern League Premier Division, Biggleswade lost 2-1 at Stourbridge. Burnham lost 2-1 at Totton. And in Speedway, Rye House started the new season with a 46-44 League Cup victory at Peterborough. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Stop Lee. In the name of love, before you break my heart.
Dennis is in Dunstall. Hearts. Morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Oh, you are delightful this morning.
Thank you, my love. Who was better, me or Safraz?
Saffraz.
Oh, mate, come on. You didn't even pretend to think about it.
You're stepping out of character when you start being nice.
But at least pretend to... I'll ask the question again. At least pretend to think about it, all right?
Yes.
Morning, Dennis.
Good morning.
Who was better, me or Saffraz?
Oh, you, if that'll satisfy you. Now then, pot coinage. I don't remember a small coin with edges on. So
you've not seen threepenny bits for ages, have you?
No, threepenny bits were usually saved for Christmas to put in the Christmas pud.
Yeah.
On the hope that the children will find them and don't choke the old people.
So the people get their threepenny bits out at Christmas?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a seasonal treat.
Well, we didn't use it, because I go back far enough when we used to use farthings.
Why was it LSD?
LSD, it's livre in French means a pound, and shillings, and then pennies.
But okay, so first of all...
And I'm going back to Roman times.
Okay, so L was a pound because it's French for a pound. Well, that's nonsense.
Livre, I think.
Livre, okay.
Yeah.
And then D was pennies. Why wasn't it P?
I don't know.
It should have been PSP.
No, I think you'll find that's another Roman bit coming in, I should think. Dinar or something like that.
When did we go decimal? 1971?
God knows, it's a long way back.
Something like that. How confusing was it?
Not at all.
Oh.
No, because while I was in the Navy, we were out in Singapore. We were paid in Singapore dollars. When we went to Hong Kong, we were paid in Hong Kong dollars, which had to change backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Then we went to Japan. We were paid in yen, $1 American a week, British service money, which was mostly Australian.
Yes, Dennis.
So we had about 5 different things going at the same time.
Great times.
You got used to it.
Great time. Dennis, stay there. I think Peter in Bedford wants to have a word with you. What do you want to say, Peter?
Yeah, hi, Dennis. My recollection was of threepenny bits, they were silver threepenny bits.
That's right, little silver ones, yeah.
Not the big ones, you'd have choked to hell on them, mate. I've got a big bag for the old silver ones at home that my mum used to have. We used to have them in Christmas puds every year, and of course, the more slices of Christmas pud you had, the more chance you had of finding silver threepenny bits.
Peter, they must be worth a fortune now.
I would think so, but then again, there must be about 28 or 29 of them upstairs.
Yeah, well, hang on to them.
Yeah, well, as I say. Nice to hear you, Dennis. Why don't you get yourself a radio programme, mate?
Well, they wouldn't let me, actually.
I think you'd do a damn sight better, mate.
I'd be too nice.
OK, buddy, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Lee. Mr. Lee. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Vote for Dennis.
The silence is golden.
Exactly right. It just showed the side. It's better this way, Dennis. Shall we have a chat?
Yes, why not? You can always... They'll give me my telephone number if you ask nicely.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I've never known him to be nice yet.
Yeah, well, he's been to America, you see, and I think...
when I was in the States, mate, we're more ruder people I've never met, I'll be honest with you. But then again, he might fit in a tree.
That's right. It's knocked some of the rough edges off him, I think.
I think you're right, mate. Have a good day, Dennis.
Bye-bye. All the best, Peter.
Take care, mate.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Ian. Bye-bye, Kelly.
Well, say something, even if it's only goodbye.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Michael.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm really at the edge. What can I do for you today?
Well, you were talking about the metric system before.
Yes.
And I guess you don't really understand it too much.
Well, I mean, I have a vague grasp of some of it. I'm of the weird generation where I was kind of taught half imperial and half metric.
Yeah, so was I as well. But see, put it to you this way. When you go into the gas station, or the petrol station as you call it...
Yes.
What you pay in? You pay in... You buy by the per litre, right?
I put it on my card.
No. You when you buy the petrol, they sell it to you by the litre.
Yeah, but I pay for it with a debit card.
Well, good for you. But all I'm trying to tell you is that when you buy it from the store, they sell it to you per litre. Because if they told you what it was per gallon, nobody would buy it because it's about £7 per gallon. But
what?
You buy the litre.
But I don't know what a gallon or I don't even know what either of those things are.
Always multiply it by 1.6.
Multiply what?
Okay, there's 4.5 litres in a gallon.
Yeah.
Right. Now, when you're driving your car, you're doing say 60 miles an hour. That's 100 kilometers an hour.
Right.
And if you look at your car, it gives it to you in both gauges.
So 100 kilometres an hour is faster than 60 miles an hour.
No, it's the same speed.
But it's a different number.
It's a different number.
So which is fastest? 100 miles an hour? No, 60 miles an hour or 100 kilometres an hour?
Well, you figure it out.
I would say 100 kilometres an hour is faster because it's a higher number.
I just told you that 100 kilometers an hour is the same as 60 miles per hour.
Okay, but 100. Okay. But let me get this straight because I don't get this in the slightest. So that's faster then.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a silly question.
Yeah.
Do you actually go to school or were you home taught? Because your comprehension is not very good lately.
What do you mean?
Well, you have to have things explained to you 5 times before you can figure out what is really going on. And I feel sorry for you because I think your comprehension level is going downhill. So maybe you should go to the doctors and have your brain checked.
What do you mean by comprehension level? I'm confused.
Okay, 100 kilometers an hour is equivalent to 60 miles per hour.
Okay.
Do you know what the word equivalent means?
Yeah, of course I do. It means they're the same.
There you go. You just answered your own question then.
Okay. But so which one is faster? You're not explaining this very well, my friend.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
Please do.
What pulls fastest, a pound of feathers or a pound of steel?
The steel would.
Okay, so obviously...
Here's a question. What's heaviest, a ton of feathers or a ton of bricks?
Well, I would have to say they're the same, but you wouldn't think so.
Wrong.
Okay, well, obviously then...
The bricks are obviously heavier. They're bricks.
Why BBC gave you this job, I've got no idea, because the other guy, when you were away in the U.S., he was actually pretty good.
Bricks are heavier. Michael.
I'd be a little bit paranoid right now.
Michael.
You actually might not have your contract rewritten.
Michael, bricks are heavier than feathers. Everyone knows that. Come on, get with the programme, brother.
You said a ton of bricks and a ton of feathers.
Yeah.
Same weight.
No, well, no, it's not, because bricks are heavier.
Okay, you obviously need a little bit of help. I'm serious, I think you do.
Okay.
And I feel sorry for you, because obviously then... let me ask you a question.
Please do, Michael.
Do you get paid in pounds or do you get paid in euros?
I get paid in pounds.
What's worth more, a pound of one pound or €1?
Well, it depends. A euro's worth nothing here, so I'd say a pound.
Oh, boy.
Listen, Michael, I tell you what, when there's a ton of bricks falling down and a ton of feathers, you stand under the bricks, I'll be under the feathers. Let's see who the last man standing is, shall we?
I think you've lost it.
I think you lost it when a ton of bricks falls on you and a ton of feathers falls slowly onto my hand and I just catch it.
Well, if there's a ton of bricks and a ton of feathers, and the ton of feathers are in one big bag and a ton of bricks are in a big bag...
It's floating gently down.
I think you've lost it.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you indeed. Bricks are heavier than feathers, right? Deal? You got that? Thank you very much.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Okey-dokey. That was awkward. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate your call. Got to work hard, okay? Listen, we are super fast brains working on this show. You've got to work hard, you've got to work fast. The Daily Express, eat less and live longer. What? It boosts healthier ageing, says experts. A very low-calorie diet could be the key to a long and healthy life, according to new research. Eating less can boost healthier ageing by protecting the body's cells from harmful deterioration and the risk of cancer. Right, so you eat less to stop getting cancer now. OK. Scientists know an extreme diet... Oh, they're actually using the phrase that I was going to make a joke about. Here we go. Here comes the phrase. Scientists know an extreme diet does not appeal to many people, but say their discovery could lead ways of mimicking its effects and pave the way for what could it pave the way for? An anti-aging pill. Oh, for goodness sakes. People are just so dumb. Aren't people dumb, Ruth?
No.
An anti-aging pill?
Well, that sounds great.
It doesn't it sound... No, don't buy into it. It's nonsense. Ruth in High Wycombe, what would you like to say this morning?
Well, following on from what Michael said... Really.
Michael got very angry, didn't he? He was bitter.
Okay.
Bitter.
What is heavier? 1 kilo of bricks?
Yep.
Or 1 kilo of feathers?
The bricks.
I think so.
Well, what's heavier, a brick or a feather?
Okay. The question was what?
Okay. And what's the question I'm asking you, Ruth, is what's heavier, a brick or a feather?
A brick is heavier, but...
Thank you.
The question was 1 kilo.
Exactly. So you just ramp it up to... you got a kilo of bricks, a kilo of feathers.
Yeah, there'll be more
bricks,
feathers.
Exactly. So the bricks are still heavier.
Oh. Well...
I know, it's obvious when it's...
heavier in physical, but the question was, what is heavier? 1 kilo?
Yes, well, Ruth, if bricks are heavier in physical, and if bricks are falling on your head in physical, then that's going to hurt a whole lot more than feathers falling on you in physical.
Yeah, but there'll be more feathers.
Exactly, but they're lighter, so that wouldn't be the same.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Have I cleared it up for you?
Well, not really, but you're on about people being dumb. So.
Exactly, Ruth. Exactly. Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. Ian Steele says, rat in my hitchin. that's actually...
Yeah. Can we play him the long horn? That's a belter.
Yeah, that actually is quite a good one, isn't it? Let's...
Do it again.
OK. Ian Steele says, rat in my hitchin.
Yes.
Well done.
Well done. That was brilliant.
There you go. You see, what a lot of fun we are having. I'm frustrated with the listeners this morning. They're not getting it. So
I beg to differ.
Why?
Sultans of Tring suggests Phil in Marsworth. Yes.
Okay.
Sandy by John Travolta from Simon in Sandy.
No.
That's a double.
Oh dear. Well, no, they get
Luton Through the Windows by the Jackson 5. That's from Sean Roblett on Facebook.
Samantha in sunny Skegness says, I'llsy Lonesome Tonight by the Kids.
Is
Anything by Rod Stewart, B.
Is Skegness in Beds, Hearts and Bucks?
Ring my bell.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Flippin' heck.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Clophill roundabout, the A6 southbound looking slow on the speed sensors, and things still very busy approaching Hitchin. The A602 and A505 are both queuing as you head towards the centre of town. In Beaconsfield, Amersham Road looking slow towards the Old Town from Longbottom Lane. And the M1 southbound building up now between junction 10 for Luton and 7 for Hemel Hempstead. The M25 anti-clockwise is queuing between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Public transport still looking good though. We've got no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Alice, thank you very much. 7:46, it's Wednesday the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks, which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. It's also been confirmed that a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides like the old threepenny bit. And in sport, Wycombe drew 1-1 at Cheltenham in League 2 and Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League. 08459 455 555. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. There's a bit of cloud around this morning, but for most of us it's fairly high, so we're seeing the brightness behind and some hazy sunshine. In fact, today is going to be the best day possibly for the rest of the week. We've got sunshine. It's going to feel pleasantly warm as well. Despite the southwesterly breeze, we're still looking at a maximum temperature of around 17 Celsius. In the more sheltered spots away from that breeze, we could actually get up to around 18, so really quite a beautiful day. Overnight, we'll have some clear spells at first, but then eventually the cloud will move in from the south and the west. That will create a blanket, and also the breeze will help keep things mild. We're looking at a minimum of around 6-7 Celsius. For tomorrow, it's a grey start. In fact, it's going to be a grey finish as well. The cloud isn't going anywhere. It's thicker cloud. It's going to be breezier tomorrow as well, and it's going to feel much colder. Maximum temperature 14 Celsius if we're lucky, 57 degrees in Fahrenheit. Overnight Thursday into Friday, the rain moves south and eastwards from the north, and we're going to get this spell of rain moving through on Friday morning. Then it's going to turn showery, but the temperature is gradually going to slope off and reduce as we head into the weekend. And that's your forecast.
Every weekday morning from 9.
Good morning, welcome to the JVS show.
Your local stories.
Have you had to rebuild your life after being a victim of crime? Do you think it's inhumane to keep people in prison for life? Do you think that immigration needs to stop?
Your local life.
Why do 70% of this country feel immigration is wrong?
We've actually got an open doors policy.
I am just so angry listening to some of them people.
What the government are doing, they'll start introducing American-type sentencing, like 200 years in prison.
The JVS show.
British people are not xenophobic.
Weekday mornings from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Stay calm, stay calm. Howard's in Leighton Buzzard. Good morning to you, Howard.
Hello, mate. Are you winding me up this morning or what?
I don't know, am I?
Did you go to school?
Yes, I did. I went to I went to school in Slough. I went to Claycott's Junior. Claycott's Junior and Middle School, and then I went to the Sir William Herschel Grammar School.
Oh.
Yeah. He discovered.
There,
do you know what Sir William Herschel discovered?
Go on.
Uranus.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was me.
There we go. You see. What do you want to say, Howard?
Maths, mate. Did you do maths at school?
I did, yes. I had Mrs. Navabi taught me maths, and she was excellent.
Physics.
Did I do what?
Physics.
I did do physics, yeah. Mr. Pugh taught me that.
So you did maths and what's it called?
Physics.
Volume.
Yeah. What's the point you're getting at, Howard? You're confusing yourself here, mate. Go on.
No. You're on about bricks and feathers.
Yeah.
Well, you need more feathers to make the same weight up as a brick.
Right.
So it'd be the same weight in general.
Yeah, OK. Let's go back to... should we go back to basics, Howard?
Go on, then.
You got one brick.
Yeah.
You got one feather.
Yeah.
Which is the heaviest?
Well, the brick would be...
Thank you. OK. Let's go up a little bit. You got two bricks.
Yeah.
You got two feathers.
That's different, though. We're talking about...
No, it's not,
weight.
Howard.
No,
go with me. Go with me on this.
No.
Go with me on this. You got two bricks, you got two feathers. Which is the heaviest?
Right. Well, the brick again, obviously.
Let's go up again. You got three bricks. Right. You got three feathers. Which is the heaviest?
Right. Okay. Well, we're talking about weight.
I'm getting to that.
We're not talking about the amount. We're talking about the weight.
I know. It's basic multiplication, Howard.
Yeah.
Three bricks, three feathers. Which is the heaviest?
No, but all right.
Which is the heaviest?
Yeah.
Say it.
I know. Bricks. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So we multiply that all the way up to a ton of bricks and a ton of feathers.
Right.
Okay. So follow the logic. Which is the heaviest?
You changed it there, haven't you? You just changed it.
Which is the
said weight?
Right.
You just said weight.
Do you? Oh dear.
You didn't say the amount. You said weight.
Okay.
It's different.
Do you want to go through it again?
No.
Thanks very much for calling. Ah, dear. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Now, as part of the BBC Three Counties Radio Big Tour, we're focusing on Newport Pagnell in Buckinghamshire. Today, a local GP surgery attempt to branch out into Milton Keynes. The Willen Clinic, we talked about this a while ago, was closed unexpectedly last year, and its patients were farmed out to other practices, some of which were a fair distance away. Well, now a surgery in Newport Pagnell has decided to step in and try to reopen the Willen surgery. Caroline Rowlings from the Newport Pagnell Medical Centre is on the line now. Morning, Caroline.
Hi, Iain.
Why have you decided to get involved at Willen?
Oh, there's quite a few reasons, but I would start with the fact that we've got this huge expansion on the eastern flank of Milton Keynes. There's just not enough GPs or practices available, where our numbers are going up quite fast, as are lots of other surgeries around this area, and so we're looking to expand for more space. And we're also interested, I'm a resident of Willen, we're interested in helping out. There is wide support to do this.
As a resident of Willen, what was the impact on your area when that surgery closed? Because it happened very quickly, didn't it?
It did. For a lot of patients, it was really quite harrowing, especially patients who were poorly at the time. And there's also quite a few elderly patients who maybe haven't got transport, families. They were separated according to their surname, if you like, and some families were split amongst different surgeries, and it was just quite difficult for patients because it was so quick as well.
What do you hope to be able to offer?
We kind of have a bit of a different model that we use here, that Milton Keynes is interested in spreading, linked to a national programme on integrated care. And that model is that we employ all our district nurses, health visitors, community matrons. We're a big team, all employed in the same building. That's different from most other surgeries in Milton Keynes. And as I say, I've been working with Dr. Nessun Carson at the CCG, looking at spreading that across Milton Keynes. But we're also interested in growing as well. In these challenging times for practices, growing is one of the things that we can do to sustain us.
Is this primarily a business decision, Caroline?
No, it isn't actually. It's both.
Right.
I would say. Talked to a lot of patients about this. I used to be the practice nurse at Willen Surgery for a long time ago now, for 10 years, and it's close to my heart as well. But that's not why my practice is doing it.
And your long-term goals, what are they?
I mean, we'd like to run it as part of us, so it's called now hub and spoke model. So we'd be the hub, and that would be a spoke practice of ours. And we would have the same carers offered here, would be offered there, and it gives us more space as well. Believe it or not, we've got a big practice, but we've kind of on shifts in rooms.
And what's the timeline for this? Where are you in your plans, and how far down the line do you think this will actually happen?
We're really quite near the beginning.
Right.
It's quite challenging. We're hoping to work with NHS England, our area team, who are responsible for this kind of thing. And we've also at the same time got to coordinate working with the receivers for the surgery, because it was repossessed. I don't know if you know that. And,
right.
And we've contacted them, but we have to make a bid to them. And they've told me other people are interested. I don't know who they are or anything about that. So we have to kind of bring both those things together. So it's quite complex.
Caroline, best of luck. Thank you for your time this morning. Caroline Rawlings from the Newport Pagnell Medical Centre.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Brian's from Newport Pagnell. Good morning to you, Brian. Brian? Brian?
Ian?
You're there, Brian. Yes, go on.
I'm here. Your game you're playing with your songs from Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
Oh, well, I mean, technically it's not a game that I'm playing. It's a game that Kelly Betts wants to play, and I'm having to go along with it because my managers said I have to. So, yeah, go on.
Welwyn Garden City Limits.
Oh, yeah, God, I'm getting sucked into it. Yeah, that's quite good. That's quite good.
And I'm gonna let you off with your bricks and your feather scenario, as you've been to America for a few days, so it's probably worn off on you, the stupidity over there.
Well, Brian, and you could certainly direct that at a few of the callers this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Linda's really getting into this ridiculous game that Kelly Betts has come up with. She's tweeted, "I've actually made myself laugh with this one. These boots are made for walking." Yeah? That's a place, is it?
I think it's in Bedfordshire, yeah,
right
there.
And that's a song, isn't it?
That is a song, yeah. Well done.
OK.
08459 455 555 Beds, Hearts and Bucks songs.
Albert's on the line. Morning, Albert.
Morning, Ian.
Hey, whoa. Well, let me just turn that down a little bit. Good, you're very,
sorry.
You're very perky today.
Yes, I've got the splint on. I'm all good to go.
Good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Listen,
yes.
They've been trying to catch you out this morning, and I'm on to them.
Yeah.
They've been trying to tell you, particularly that lady earlier with her kilo of bricks, her kilo of feathers. I've worked this out, right?
Yeah.
Small amounts, you're absolutely right. Right? If you had a bag of bricks and a bag of feathers,
yes,
same weight.
Yeah.
If you had a kilo of bricks and a kilo of feathers, same weight. But a ton is bigger. So if that fell on you, it'd squash you flat. You're absolutely right.
Whereas the ton of feathers would gently float down.
Exactly. And also, when are you ever going to see a ton of feathers anywhere? You see a ton of bricks on building site. When are you going to see a ton of feathers? Are there birds, like, gathering in trees en masse? It's not going to happen, is it? Trick question.
At last, Albert, someone with a degree of sense phoning in. I do wonder sometimes. I enjoy this job, but I do wonder sometimes who I'm broadcasting to.
Absolutely. You see, that degree I didn't go to waste, did it?
What degree did you do, Albert?
I did astrophysics at Hatfield Poly.
And that sustains you well in the meatpacking industry, has it?
Well, it's got me through so far, I have to be honest. It doesn't come into it a whole lot when I put the nappies on the meat.
Well.
But I did drop out after the first 6 weeks.
So technically you've not got a degree then?
Well, they gave me an honorary degree.
To get rid of you?
They gave me a piece of paper with my name on it and a big star.
Albert, thank you very much indeed. If you want to hear that call again, that will be in the podcast as well. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. Ton of bricks versus a ton of feathers. Come on, guys. Are you winding me up this morning? Seriously? Have you all got together? When I was off, did Safraz say, right, guys, when Iain comes back, can you all just, pretend to be really dim and wind him up? Is that what you did? I'm going to send him an email and have a word with him. 08459 455 555 is the phone number. BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the travel news now. Here's Alice Glossop.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Black Cat roundabout, there are queues on the A1 southbound from Eton Soken. And in Hitchin, things still looking very busy on the A602 and the A505. They're both queuing towards the centre of town. In Kings Langley, the A41 southbound very slow from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off to the M25. And the M25 itself, anti-clockwise, is queuing between junction 21 for the M1 and 20 for Kings Langley. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice. Oh, I was having a really nice stretch then. Sometimes a stretch is the best thing you can do. Lots to talk about in the last hour of the show. Those roadworks in Hitchin a ride. How are they affecting you? We'll talk about it more after the news with Simon Oxley.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. The headlines. Drivers say roadworks causing chaos in Hitchin. Chancellor to deliver fifth budget. And review into Aylesbury flooding underway.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill and which are set to last for 4 weeks. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they'll look at the situation this morning. They say the works at the junction of Charlton Road and the A602 Parkway are aimed at improving an accident black spot. But John Pearce, who lives in the village of Charlton, told Iain the council has got it wrong.
They are addressing an issue of turning right off of Parkway into Charlton Road. If you talk to the vast majority of people around here, they will say that's not the problem. The problem is turning right from Charlton Road into Parkway. That is a really dangerous manoeuvre.
George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today with measures to encourage investment, exports and house building. Paul Johnson of the Institute for Fiscal Studies says although there may be tax cuts, they'll have to be paid for elsewhere.
The deficit is still well over £100 billion this year. He wants to get that down to zero by 2018. That's an awfully long way to go. So the focus really of the debate ought to be how are those cuts going to happen over the next 4 or 5 years? What we keep hearing from government and opposition are what tax cuts, what spending increases. That's not the agenda for the next 4 or 5 years.
It's also been confirmed that a new £1 coin will be produced with 12 sides, like the old threepenny bit. Philip Mussell is from Coin News magazine.
I like it. I think it's a lovely design. The threepenny bit was one of the best designs that we've ever had. It consistently comes up in polls of being one of the favourite coins. So let's hope the £1 coin follows suit.
A doctor's practice in Newport Pagnell is trying to get permission to take over the troubled Willan surgery in Milton Keynes, which closed down suddenly last April. The Newport Pagnell Medical Centre is waiting for a decision by NHS England. Thailand has said its military identified radar blips that might have been from the missing Malaysia Airlines plane that went missing with 239 people on board. It said the signals suggested the plane was flying westwards toward the Malacca Strait, backing up a previous unconfirmed claim by the Malaysian military. A county council report into the recent flooding in Aylesbury is expected to be published in around 6 weeks' time. Around 80 homes on the Willows estate were flooded when the area was battered by heavy rain. Karen Fisher from the Bucks Flood Management Team told this programme that drains on the estate would be examined.
The water was coming up from the drains, but that may have been the water backing up from the Stokes Brook. But obviously we don't want to prejudge the situation until we've properly investigated it.
In sport, a second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham, which leaves them 4 points above the League 2 relegation zone. And Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. The weather dry and sunny after a hazy start, a maximum temperature 17 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Simon, I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you really have a guest on from Coin News magazine?
Do you not get it?
I've not subscribed to that one.
It's a must.
Well, what do they write about, apart from now? What have they done for the last 15 years? There's no news.
Well, they have a strong campaign against banknotes. They're not keen on banknotes.
Oh, for goodness sake. Simon Oxley, thank you very much.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
I would home in on our sense of community, our can-do attitude in the town.
Inviting everyone to where you live.
There's always something to say hello to, there's always somebody popping into, there's always something new in the shops.
All this week, we're featuring Newport Pagnell.
The friendliness, the community spirit, the well-being.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm on the Coin News magazine website. Coins, the UK's best-selling coin magazine. The UK's best-selling coin magazine. That means there are... Justin, that means there is more than one coin magazine.
Yes! Fantastic. Can we go and get them?
No!
Oh, come on!
The UK's best-selling coins magazine. Features include... numismatic news.
Oh, yes.
A What's On section.
Yeah.
A banknote section.
Oh.
And a directory that allows readers to see what lists the main dealers are offering that month, as well as a host of other features of interest to both the serious and not-so-serious collector.
Boss, what are you doing this weekend?
I think I might be subscribing to Coin News magazine.
Do you want to hang out and talk about coins?
You love it! Yeah. Thank you, Just. We'll speak to you in a second. Coin News magazine, dear listener. You couldn't make that shizzle up. You couldn't. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Lots to talk about. Blocked roads. We'll also be talking about the budget with Paul Scoins. Don't worry, we'll be making it sexy by playing some music underneath. And which is heavier, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Oh, I can't believe I'm even asking this question. Bricks, obviously. Facebook.com/BBC3CR. You can send me a text, 81333. Start your text 3CR. Or you can give me a call, 08459 455 555.
No, man.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
I am a highfalutin, tootin', shootin' son of the gun from Arizona.
Now, Hitchin's new roadworks brought the town to a grinding halt yesterday, and they're going to stay there for a month. Hertfordshire County Council have apologised for the inconvenience and say they'll take another look at the way traffic is being managed while works continue at the junction of Charlton Road and the A602 Parkway. Well, Justin Dealey has been in Hitchin this morning. Morning, Justin.
Hello, Ian.
What's going on?
Well, it's not great. I managed to get into Hitchin this morning, then come back to Luton to avoid the traffic. When I was coming back into Luton at about 7:15 this morning, the traffic going into Hitchin was absolutely horrendous. Now, the whole point of these works works is to stop people turning right onto the A602. Local people say to me, we don't need that. What we need is a roundabout there to keep the traffic moving. Everyone's talking about this. I spoke to one local trader in the town. Now, since Monday, they have lost £1,200.
Oh, dear.
That's a local independent trader. They've been there for years. They don't wish to be named, but I think that tells you just how big this problem is. People in the town have been talking about it with me this morning. Here's what they had to say. Well, Lucy, we're in a nice coffee shop here in Market Place, but the roads around Hitchin since Monday, how have they been?
They've been absolutely awful. The whole of Hitchin town's literally been gridlocked. It's been a nightmare getting anywhere, and it's adding so much time onto a normal couple of minute journey. But I know people that have come in from different areas that have taken about an hour and a half. Yeah.
And this is something that everyone's talking about here in the town.
Yes, everyone's moaning about it on social medias, in the school playgrounds, and just literally around town.
So 4 weeks of this. Can you cope? 4 weeks?
No way. It's going to be a nightmare. So I think I might have to start walking.
Delays me getting around. It's during the day as well. It's terrible. It's
4 weeks of this. As somebody who's a builder, getting to and from your jobs, can you cope with this for 4 weeks?
Yeah, I'll go to the cafe.
Well, here's Nick. Nick's not driving, he's running this morning. We've stopped him for a second. You know people that have been really badly affected by these roadworks, don't you?
I have so far, yeah. I know one woman who took an hour and a half to get from Stevenage to Luton.
An hour and a half?
Yep. In the afternoon, late afternoon.
My family, they have to walk through these roadworks, and my wife walks to work every day because it's not worth actually getting the car out to get just stuck in the traffic and go nowhere.
Really? So your wife would normally drive into work in the town centre. Now, since Monday, she's been walking?
She's been walking, yeah.
I suppose one argument could be, Justin, this work is being done to make that stretch of road safer. So, I mean, there could be a benefit out of this, couldn't there?
Well, I mean, local people are saying, I mean, they live there, they're saying it's wrong, they're saying it's a so-called accident black spot, they're saying there are worst areas in the town. To put a conspiracy theory ahead this morning, a lot of people saying to me they've now given up their cars during this 4-week period. Maybe, just maybe, the idea is to reduce congestion in the town long term, having 4 weeks where people don't use their cars, they're walking to and from work. They might get used to that and they might actually give up their vehicle.
Justin, thank you for that. Can I speak to you after this? Can you hang around for a second?
Yeah, no problem.
Is that okay? Thank you very much indeed. I want to get back to Justin about something else, but before that, I'm joined now by Simon Kirbisher, who is the Customer Services Manager at Waitrose in the town and also the Chair-elect of Hitchin Business Improvement District Scheme. Morning to you, Simon.
Good morning, Ian.
What do you make of these roadworks?
Well, yes, it certainly had an effect for the first couple of hours of trade yesterday morning and Monday, and Monday and this morning. Having said that, during the day and looking at the figures for yesterday, we're pretty much even on last week. So it seems like during the day it's not too bad. It's just the rush hour, school hour sort of traffic, really.
One trader who Justin spoke to, who didn't want to come on air, said they'd lost £1,200 already.
Well, I mean, obviously that's that's them. I mean, I can't speak for those individuals, but as a business here, the people that I spoke to yesterday evening about it, yes, trade is going to be always a little bit tricky with a situation like this.
For somewhere like Waitrose, though, Waitrose is always going to do all right, isn't it? And it could also, if it did take a bit of a hit, it could easily absorb that, couldn't it? I guess it's for the smaller businesses that this could be problematic.
Is. Yeah, no, it certainly is, and it does. Of course, it affects us as well. I think what affects us even more is probably the parking, to be fair, especially with the Lairridge car park right next to us that the top level has been closed for now, nearly 6 months. Work's not yet to get underway until the Easter holidays, and that's had just as much an effect as this. And we are on an island where we in the Waitrose, and the whole of the roads surrounding us, Bedford Road, Old Park Road, and Paynes Park, were resurfaced. I think it was last year before, but the work was done in the evening, so it had little effect on the town and on us, so there was quite forward planning there. I don't know if these works can be done more in the evening out of trade to help us, really.
Many people we've spoken to this morning, Simon, say it's the wrong scheme, that they should be putting a roundabout or something there.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not an expert on road traffic calming measures, but, lots of different people have different opinions what is right. The roundabout does seem like a sensible suggestion, but as I say, I'm not an expert in that field, and maybe there's good reasons for what they're doing here.
Were you properly consulted about this? Do you think that people were given enough warning?
Well, we certainly knew about it ahead. There was enough in the paper about what was going to happen. Maybe we didn't all realise the impact it would have on the trade. But as I say, it appears to be for us and for some of the other people I've spoken to, it's just the first few hours, and then during the day it's not too bad. And it just goes to show the amount of traffic that does travel from Stevenage through Hitchin to Luton, and obviously from the Shefford direction as well. So, we are a pinch point here, really.
Simon, thanks very much for your time. Simon Kirbisher, Customer Services Manager at Waitrose.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Let's go to Lee, who's in Milton Keynes. Good morning, Lee.
Hello, Ian, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Lee. I'm good. What would you like to say?
Well, I thought we were getting a bit of trouble from the listeners. I thought I'd help you educate them on this ton of feathers, ton of bricks thing.
Please do, mate, yes.
Well, a ton, it might be a colloquialism, I don't know, but a ton is the equivalent of 100. So if you dropped 100 bricks on top of your head or 100 feathers, I know which one I prefer to be under.
Exactly, but I think we're talking specifically about the weight, the ton weight.
Right, okay.
And that's obviously the bricks are heavier. A ton of bricks is obviously heavier than a ton of feathers, isn't it?
Well, you might be on your own with that one, Ian.
Lee, come on, what would you rather have fall on your head, a brick or a feather?
Well, like I say, if we're saying a ton, 100 of each, I would prefer the feathers all day long.
OK, Lee, you're confusing things slightly. And Justin, this is what I've been dealing with all morning, OK?
I've been fascinated by this. It's brilliant.
Isn't it incredible?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, listen. Could you do me a favour?
Of course I can.
I'd like to think that my listeners are of an intelligent degree. They're not, it would appear. Which is heavier, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Very simple question. Could you go out and put it to the general public, and let's see if people can get this right? Obviously, we know it's a ton of bricks.
I mean, personally, for me, they both weigh the same, but
but the bricks are heavier.
Yes, if something was going to fall on my head, I would personally prefer a ton of feathers, which I should catch beautifully, instead of a ton of bricks, which would quite clearly take me out.
I'd never seen you catch a ball before.
Have
I bet you catch a ball quite skillfully.
Yeah, pretty good. Just don't like talking about it. Don't like putting it out there. But yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
good for you. Okay, ton of bricks, ton of feathers. Which is the heaviest? And obviously it's bricks. And I look forward to hearing people hopefully speaking sense. Don't do one of those things you do just where you fix it.
I'm literally going to put this one out there, and I'll come back to you in 35 minutes.
Is Intercom man back?
Let's see if he's about today, shall we?
Nice one. Thank you, Just. Speak to you later. Ta-ta. There we go. You see. There we go. You see, this is what the BBC does. This is what your licence fee is paying for. It's paying for top-notch reporters like JD, J-Dizzle, J-Dog, Justin Dealey to go out and ask the questions that matter, which is heavier, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers. 08459 455 555. BBC Three Counties Radio, 8:15. Let's get the travel news now with Alice.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford, the Bromham Road heading towards the centre of town, very slow from Biddenham. And also in Hitchin, the A602 extremely heavy. There are queues towards the centre of town from the A1M at the moment. The A5 in both directions is slow around Dunstable. And also on the speed sensors in Cheshunt, the A10 southbound slow going between Turnford and Waltham Cross. The M25 anti-clockwise very slow between 18 for Chorleywood and 16 for the M40. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice. Right, it's coming up to 8:16. It's Wednesday, the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks, which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. It's also been confirmed a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides like the old threepenny bits. And in sport, Wycombe drew 1-1 at Cheltenham in League 2, and Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League.
BBC Three Counties Radio. BBC Three Counties Radio's Big Tour.
All this week, our Big Tour is featuring Newport Pagnell, and this afternoon I'll be live in the Buckinghamshire town.
Roberto Perroni.
I'll be based at the Middleton Pool, where I'll find out what the Town Council has planned for the future of the pool. I'll also be meeting the Mayor and finding out about all the history Newport Pagnell has to offer.
It's all about where you live.
Come down and say hello this afternoon, or listen to it all right here.
BBC Three Counties Radio's Big Tour of Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
Oh, that finished. I was expecting a flourish at the end from both the music and from you, but there was neither.
No.
Nothing.
No, I didn't feel like it. Look at you looking all American. Something's happened to you in New York.
Gee.
You're wearing what can only be described as some kind of Brokeback Mountain top.
Thank you, man. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, you like that?
I've not seen the film.
Have you not?
Is it good?
From what I remember, it's a quite old film now, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't really watch films except when I'm on aeroplanes.
Right.
I saw The World's End on the aeroplane, the Simon Pegg film.
Yes.
Maybe laughed 3 times.
Right.
When they swore. I saw Kick-Ass 2.
Right.
Oh, I like that. Do you like Kick-Ass?
I don't know.
Oh, it's like superheroes.
I watched Julia and Julia or something. You know, all about Julia Childs.
Who?
The American cook.
What?
I'm sensing we might have a different taste in films.
There's a film about an American cook called Julia.
Yeah, it's funny. Meryl Streep plays her.
Oh, for goodness sake.
What? That wouldn't appeal to you?
No, it would not. And Meryl Streep being a cook, no thanks.
It's funny.
How many karate fights are in it?
No, there are no karate fights.
I am out.
She talks like this throughout it.
No.
It made me laugh so much that the woman sitting next to me nudged me and tutted.
Oh, really? Oh, how disappointing.
Yes, well, mind you, sitting next to me on an aeroplane watching a funny film, it's like sitting next to the Wicked Witch of the West, isn't it? Cackling away.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
What's on your show this morning?
Coming up on this morning's Big Phone.
Yes.
I'm asking, do you love or hate Aldi and Lidl? Sainsbury's has announced a fall in sales of 3% in just 10 weeks, and the company's putting it all down to the rise in budget change. But, of course, last week, were you here when I did my Morrison's phone-in?
Yes, I was.
You were. Morrison's reported its lowest profit for the last 5 years, and they said that they're now going to discount their offering to compete with the cheaper supermarkets like Aldi and Lidl. Well, you may well also have seen that on the front page of The Guardian today, the cheap grocery stores are winning over middle-class mums, apparently, with people opting to shop with them for good value and money. Well,
we all want to save a few quid.
We do want to save a few quid, but from 9, I want your views on this. Do you love or hate Aldi and Lidl? There are still some people who say, you know what, they stink. They're horrible. Everything's all piled up. It's like a jumble sale.
Yeah.
You don't recognise any of the brands, and it's a most unpleasant experience. But I just wonder, are those people misguided? Have they just not caught on to the delights that are Aldi and Lidl? From 9 this morning, I want your views, your experiences. Do you love or hate those budget supermarkets? Call me on 08459 455 555 and we'll discuss it from 9.
My favourite place to go food shopping is Marks and Spencer's. Wonderful food. I just can't afford it. I can't afford it. I'll go there as a little treat to do a shop there. I can do a weekly shop there because it's too expensive.
But if you feel as if you're paying a lot of money for food, doesn't that kind of take some of the taste away?
I think it does. No, I think it does. This is why I don't do Marx's very often, because I think it is too expensive.
You know, if you can go to Aldi or Lidl and do a whole weekly shop for a tenner...
Wow.
I'm exaggerating, of course, but you come away with that sense of, not only have I got food, got it for a bargain. Brilliant. Eat as much as you want, kids.
Was it Lidl you go into?
Aldi.
Aldi, you go into the Aldis. Okay.
I quite like a Lidl as well. It reminds me of Frigaliana. When I'm in Frigaliana, I shop in Lidl.
Right.
So when I'm in there, it reminds me of holiday. It smells of holiday.
Yeah. It has that kind of sparseness that continental supermarkets have.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And all the brands the same as I buy in Frigaliana.
Yeah, made up.
So it's like being on holiday.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, good for you.
You buy Lynessa margarine. I mean, what the hell's Lynessa margarine? I only knew it because I ate it in Frigaliana, but you can eat it in Luton as well.
So what's your question?
Do you love or hate Aldi and Lidl? It's the Big Phone In from 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Okie dokie, now the Chancellor will unveil his 5th budget later today, and we are all very excited about it. So here to raise that feeling of anticipation to fever pitch level, political reporter Paul Scoins. Good morning, Paul.
Hello.
You sent out a very exciting email last night saying, guys, I can come on and talk about the budget if you want. Both Catherine and I immediately replied saying, yes, yes, yes. Give me some of that bad boy budget. What have you got for us?
You totally didn't say that. Well, Iain, you mentioned, yes, it's George Osborne's 5th budget, and I suppose the financial outlook, he would say, is far better than it has been.
Can I interrupt? Can I interrupt? Sorry. Some people, not me, might think this is sounding a little bit flat. Can I
already?
Can I kind of just try and oomph it up a bit?
Do you want me to talk about bingo duty?
Let's just... I think we need some music in the background.
OK.
So, here to talk about the budget. The 5th budget from George Osborne. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Scoins!
Let's get ready to build the economy. Growth is up to 2.7%. That's what the UK's predicted growth rate is this year. That's just second, number 2 to the US. That's ahead of Germany. So there, 1.8% there. Now, apparently, according to the financial experts, they warn, though, that this growth is too consumer-driven, and they're saying that the deficit, whilst it was £157 billion in 2010, the Chancellor will be saying, well, I've done well, I've got it down to 110 billion, but bearing in mind, Iain, that he wanted it to go to plus 2 billion in 2018, he's got a long way to go, less than half the way down that journey. I mentioned bingo duty. Bingo duty in halls currently stands at 20%. Campaigners have been asking the Chancellor to bring it down with the rest of the gambling industry. So guess what? What we understand is that duty might come down to 15%. That's good for you bingoers.
Story was quite clear.
There are some things that have already been announced, Iain. Garden cities, we heard about that the other day. They're going to build a new garden city in Ebbsfleet. There's also been an announcement yesterday that up to £10,000 childcare will be tax-free. So that's equivalent to a £2,000 tax break if you're spending the full £10,000 at the moment, but both parents have to be working. There's already been another announcement, Iain, too, about the minimum wage. That's going up to £6.50 an hour. And we're also hearing that beer duty won't go up again. And for those taxpayers, the amount that you pay tax on will rise as well. So that threshold, they call it, which is the sort of upper limit to which you can start to pay tax, will be raised to £10,500. I said upper limit there, I meant lower limit. Now that's already scheduled to go to £10,000 this April, so that extra £500 a year is effectively a £100 tax cut for someone earning more than £10,000. And those, Iain, apart from a little bit about VAT as well, and if you use e-books, you'll certainly be feeling the pinch a little bit stronger as those guidelines for VAT will come into force, which will basically mean that we'll pay the standard VAT charge on all e-books. At the moment, you don't. You pay a lower limit of 3% because they some of the big companies base themselves in places like Luxembourg.
Focus.
Yeah, there we are. That's about it. Corporation tax going down too. That's probably it. Oh, there's something about the welfare cap as well, which obviously starts next year. And some stuff about loans. National insurance threshold going up. That probably impacts on you if you're a business. An extension on the Help to Buy, extended out from 2016 to 2020. That's already been announced, though. Duty, did I mention that? That's already been frozen.
Are we done?
Yep.
We done?
Yeah.
Yeah, we done?
Mm-hmm.
OK.
Yeah, we're done.
Well, probably a low point for both of us there.
Me more so.
It says on my screen something interesting about when I was off. Shall I read
What's
it?
That?
Safraz filled in for me. Safraz Mansour.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It says on my screen, Scoins was flirting with Safraz.
It wasn't like that, Ian.
No, I don't. But what was it like then, Paul?
It's just it's a misunderstanding.
I'll speak to you later. Off air.
Yeah.
Oh, I've pressed the button there that I can't... Anyway. Carpet Martin off of Twitter.
Good morning, Ian. How are you?
Well, have you actually... This is the most bizarre thing. For those who don't know, Carpet Martin has been harassing me on Twitter for a couple of years now, and we've never spoken, but now we're speaking.
It's harassment with love.
Well, in that case, I like it. Sexy harassment.
Yes.
What would you like to say, Carpet Martin?
Well, I just wanted to give you a quick call and talk about that chap who was on the other day.
Oh, yes, go on, Safraz.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
apparently everyone says he was better than me.
Well, he was very nice.
Yes.
He was very polite.
Yes.
He didn't upset any of the callers.
Right.
But there wasn't that frisson, Ian.
Yes.
The frisson that you might break down at any point.
Sorry? What? That's... What? The frisson that I might what?
Have a breakdown on air. A full breakdown.
Is that why you listen?
I live in hope.
Thank you very much indeed. What bizarre call. What? Is that what it sounds? Is that why people listen? Because they think... Why are you rubbing your hair like that, Catherine?
Carpet Martin.
Is that why people listen? Because they think I might have...
It's the only reason I come in. I was sacked years ago.
Yeah. Very weird show today. Hey, Lauren Laverne's tweeted me.
Oh, I love her.
She's replied to a tweet. Sorry, Catherine?
Oh, good.
She's replied to a tweet that I sent.
Go on, then.
Do you like her, Catherine?
Love her.
I think she's brilliant.
I think she's brilliant.
I think she's beautiful. I think she's funny. I think Kaniki are a good band. Do you remember Kaniki?
Yeah.
What was their song, Kelly?
Hey, Kaniki, you're so fine.
08459 455 555.
Across beds, hard.
That's the wrong thing. Alice, don't panic. Can I just say, Alice, that we've had a couple of little crashes going into your travel, haven't we? Alice? Yeah. So I would like you to formally apologise to the listener. Because it's obviously your fault.
Obviously.
Well, we've not had any other awkward bits during the show. It's all run very, very smoothly, and then we get to you, and it kind of muffs up.
It just falls apart.
Doesn't it just?
I'm
so
terribly sorry.
If you say sorry to the listener.
I'm sorry, listener.
Say sorry to my production team.
I'm so sorry, guys.
And then the most important apology, of course, is to me.
I'm so sorry, Ian. I can't apologise enough.
Sounds like sarcasm, but I'm going to buy it. Thank you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bletchley, standing way, heavy going, heading towards the centre of Milton Keynes. Also on the speed sensors, all approaches to the Clop Hill roundabout looking slow at the moment. In Hitchin, long delays on the A602, heading towards the centre of town from the A1M. And in Hertford, the A414 towards the centre of town, slow going from the A10. On the M25 anti-clockwise, things looking very slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. Public transport has no reported problems. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill and which are set to last for 4 weeks. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation again this morning. There's to be a new £1 coin to make it harder for fraudsters to create fake coins. The announcement comes as Chancellor George Osborne prepares to deliver his budget. And a report into the recent flooding in Aylesbury is expected to be published in around 6 weeks' time. Around 80 homes on the Willows estate were flooded when the area was battered by heavy rain.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A second-half penalty from Dean Morgan gave Wickham a 1-1 draw at Cheltenham, which leaves them 4 points above the League Two relegation zone. Morgan's goal, 11 minutes from time, came after substitute Joker 4 was brought down. Here's manager Gareth Ainsworth.
I think we could have won the game, but we'll have to take the point away from home. If we can back it up with a win Saturday at home game, it'll be a great point. So really pleased with the boys. A couple of little knocks that I'm a little bit worried about, but overall battling, real tenacious away performance. Really pleased, and fans brilliant, thank you.
Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League after a 2-0 win over Galatasaray gave them a 3-1 aggregate victory. Tonight, Manchester United host the Greek side Olympiacos, trailing 2-0 from the first leg. Here's United defender Patrice Evra.
We know we have a bad game on the first leg. I think even 3 years, Man United fans have been hurting by our poor performance. But in life, you always have a second chance. And I am not God to telling you we're going to qualify, but I can promise you we're going to all fight and respect this shirt and make sure all the fans will be really proud of us after that game.
Luton's lead at the top of the conference has been cut to 11 points after Cambridge beat Welling 2-1. Luke Chadwick played for Cambridge after his loan move from MK Dons. Meanwhile, Luton are through to the Beds Senior Cup final after a team containing several first-team squad players won on penalties after a goalless draw at Barton Rovers. Tiger Woods has pulled out of the Bay Hill Invitational with a bad back and is now a major doubt for the Masters at Augusta next month. And in Speedway, Rye House started the new season with a 46-44 League Cup victory at Peterborough. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Matt in Luton, ring back. Your mailbox is full and we can't leave a message or something. So what's your bit?
I won't even ring. I don't know what setup he's got, but you ring and it immediately goes to sort of an answer phone and it says, this mailbox is full. Oh. You can't leave a message. I don't want to leave a message. I want to speak to Matt, who I just spoke to 2 minutes ago.
Matt, what's your beef, man? Come on.
What's going on, Matt?
Come on, Matt.
Come on, Matt. No.
Matt. We're just going to wait, or have we got anything to do here?
I can get something.
Sorry?
I can get something.
Oh, we also had a call about Paul Scoyne's report. They were really interested in knowing what the music was. Kashmir, Led Zeppelin.
Iain, this is an email. Each day I commute from Stevenage to Luton. My normal journey takes 25 minutes to complete. Oh, this is about the roadworks. Yesterday it took me 90 minutes to complete my journey. I joined the A602 at the A1M junction in Stevenage and literally stopped. I then crawled through the A602 into Hitchin, which took an hour. You try saying that. Their roadwork scheme is awful and it isn't what's required. They need to stop people turning right out of Willow Lane onto Parkway. That's where the danger is. I emailed Herts County Council yesterday morning, but I'm still awaiting their reply. I'm only expecting some sort of pre-printed response that offers no hope and full of apologies. Dennis is in Luton. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, boss.
Yes, Dennis, what would you like to say, sir?
You're talking all about this traffic in Hitchin.
Yes, sir.
It's baffling me to reasons why people in Luton, especially League Road, haven't rung you. It's regarding the traffic lights at Limbury Road, Marsh Road and Archway.
Yes, go on.
Now, it's there for 8 weeks.
Yes.
They've got portable traffic lights up. The chaos of traffic down there in each way, each direction, is catastrophic.
It's what?
In a mess. Hell mess.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Nice to hear my young voice, you know.
Well, maybe for you.
But it's a hell mess down there, Iain.
Yes.
And Justin wants to go. It's a Saturday in the mornings. It's not too bad in a sense, but during the day, it's wicked. Now,
is it?
It is.
It's wicked.
Yeah, it's wicked. But the thing is, Iain, there's no one there.
Oh.
There's no road.
There's nobody doing any jobs or anything.
No.
Ah.
You've got it for 8 weeks. Now, I wonder if Mr. Taylor can go down there with Justin and have a look at this through the day. It's terrible.
Could you just say it's wicked again?
Don't start again. It's wicked.
Thank you very much. I think we've got the clip that we need. Kelly, if you could clip Dennis there saying it's wicked, that would be lovely. Biggers is in Radlett. Morning, Biggers.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I don't think I've ever called anyone Biggers before.
That's my nickname, my friend.
I was guessing it wasn't the name you were christened with.
My mate's been saying that.
Are you a big lad?
Well, nearly 6 foot, about 14 stone.
Is your surname Bigley or something?
Biggerstaff.
Biggerstaff.
Yeah.
Wow, Biggers. Okay, I like it. It's good. I like it. What can I do for you, Biggers?
I've got another name of a place with a song title in it, my friend.
Oh, please don't. Why are you encouraging this?
It's great. It's a laugh, mate.
You're encouraging this nonsense from Kelly Bett. All right, Kelly's rubbing her hands with glee. Go on, what you got?
Charles and Eddie, Brickett, Would I Lie to You?
Yes! And that would
Brickett
work for Borum, Would I Lie to You?
You want me to sing it, Ian?
Yeah, I'd like you to, yeah.
Look into my eyes, can't you see they're open wide? Brickett, would I lie to you? Brickett, would I lie to you? Well, yeah.
Can you believe? Thank you, Biggers. Can you believe that this? I wonder if Mark Forrest is going to run with this topic tonight. Here's something you're really going to love. We're going all around the country with song titles that are actually place names. Do you think he's going to go with that?
I think it's a cracking phone in
I think it's a
08459455555.
It's some sort of phoning. Matt's in Luton. Morning, Matt. Matt?
I'm here.
Yes, Matt. You were hiding on Fader 1.
I've got something to say to you this morning, and you won't like this.
Oh, my gosh. Go on.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am, sir.
I was a Radio 2 listener.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. When Morgan was on. Then Chris Evans come on, and I switched straight off.
Yeah.
On to you.
Good lad. Well done. You made the right choice.
No, I didn't.
Sorry?
You sound worse than Chris Evans this morning.
In what respect, Matt?
And the best part of your programme this morning was when Jonathan came on.
Yeah.
You're gone a bit silly, I think.
In what respect, Matt?
Well, we're doing silly things on there. We're not keeping up to the good news we always listen to.
You mean...
Up-to-date news.
OK. You mean the thing about the place names, don't you?
What a load of rubbish.
Oh, Matt, listen. I agree...
Sad you are.
No, hang on.
Chris Evans, too, you are.
Matt, listen, I didn't want to do the place name songs.
Well, who suggested it?
Kelly Bett suggested it, and
I like Kelly a lot.
Well, it was her idea. And I have been told by management that the BBC is supposed to be encouraging new, young talent. Oh, this rubbish. So I've got to take some of Kelly's ideas and run with them. I don't want to do it. It's an awful idea.
Do you know, the next thing we'll have on BBC Three Counties is Chris Evans, and I'm dreading that.
Well, it could happen.
Never.
You should have seen who they were trying to get to fill in for me. Man alive, that would have made you jump. Anyway, well, listen, Matt, would you like to tell Kelly what you think of her idea?
Well, she already knows, because I did say it already, and I was told not to swear.
Oh, that wasn't to me.
No.
I haven't spoke to you today, Matt. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Kelly. How are you? Right.
Tell her what you think, Matt. Go on, because I'm getting the flak for
Kelly,
this, and this isn't my gig.
I think it's very silly, and I didn't expect that from you. I expected it from Iain, but not from you, Kelly.
But it's a fun game, and we get to name check all the places around the three counties.
Yeah.
Like Luton through any window.
It's very Chris Evans, isn't it?
Hey?
It's very Chris Evans.
Hasn't he won a load of awards? I think he has. I think he's got the most listeners.
No, not as many as Terry Wogan used to have. Sorry. Or Jonathan.
Okay, Matt. I'm sorry you feel that way about my only phone.
Matt, I agree with you 100%, and from the bottom of my heart, I apologise. I sincerely apologise, and tomorrow we'll be back to that great news.
Ian, I don't like you now because you're doing a bit of a creep job.
What is your problem? You've called up to have a go. You should be apologising to me, Matthew. You've had a go at me for something that wasn't my idea. I've put you in touch with the person whose idea it was. You should be saying sorry to me. Say it now.
Okay, Chris Evans, too.
Say sorry to me. Say it. Right, get off. I'm not having that. I'm not having that. He's phoned up to have a go at me for something that isn't my fault. Is your fault. I'm pointing at Kelly Betts, dear listener.
Hi.
And then he doesn't apologise to me. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Jog on, fella. No, thank you. Not today. Go on. I'm not buying any of your dishcloths today.
He's still there. He might still be there.
You still there, Matt? He's gone.
Oh, he listened.
Good. He's gone. Good. People need... Listen, all right. I wasn't going to... I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, I'm not going to do it. I've been advised not to do this.
No, not that.
I'm doing it.
Don't do that.
No, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Are you going to break down?
No, I'm not going to break down.
Resign?
No, I'm not going to resign.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to... dear listener, right, you need to up your game. Seriously, you need to up your game. The last 3 months... They have been slacking off, right? And I have come in here and I have done some golden radio. I've worked my backside off, excuse my language. And we are just not getting the goods from you. Yeah, you in your car, on your way to school, on your way to work, cooking your breakfast. Pull your finger out, otherwise I am off.
There's one shrugging the shoulders there. We do mean you too.
You!
Don't look at your friend.
Sort it out. Seriously, sort it out. I'm going to play a song now so we can all just calm down and we can get back to having a little bit of fun. Okay, so hang on a second. Let me... let's have this.
I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. And I don't like it very much. Oh no, he swallowed my toe, he swallowed my toe. Oh gee, he's up to my knee, he's up to my knee. Oh fiddle, he's reached my middle, he's reached my middle. Oh heck, he's up to my neck, he's up to my neck. Oh dread, he's swallowed my...
08459 455 555 is the telephone number. You can do this, guys. You're better than this. Seriously, you can do this. I have faith in you. Some of you. Not you. Him. Definitely not her. Hey, what's going to happen? When the new pound coins come in, things are going to get more expensive. Because, I tell you why, because they're going to have to replace all of the vending machines, all of the ticket machines, all of those machines where you put £1 in, they're going to have to replace them. So those things will have to be paid for by us. The prices will go up. You think parking's expensive now, it's going to go way up to pay for all the changes.
You think?
Yeah, definitely. When you introduce new coinage that's a different shape and different size, it costs money.
There are still machines that won't accept a £2 coin.
Can't they set the machine because it takes 50p's, 2p's, 20p's?
Well, I admittedly, I don't quite know how it works. I would have thought they'd have to build a new machine.
No, they'll go up to it. They'll explain the situation.
You can't explain it.
And then you just say, this is the new one. You pop that in, and he'll be like, oh, okay, I accept that, and then it will go on from there.
The current machines, don't they weigh the coins as they go in? That's how they work out what you put in.
No, it's to do with size. It's the size of the coin. That's why, because there's some foreign coins that you can kind of sneak into some of those.
You wouldn't do that, though, would you? That's
yeah, I would not do that. I wouldn't do that. It's illegal.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Some people do.
Sometimes it happens by accident. 08459 455 555. It's going to get expensive, guys. When this new pound coin comes in, it's going to get expensive. Let's go to Peter. Morning, Peter.
Good morning, Ian. Peace be with you, brother.
Thank you, boss. What have you got for me?
Disgusting stories about food.
Oh, yes.
Your dough making.
Oh, gosh, you're going back to, 2 hours ago. Well done.
Yes, I'm always listening to you.
Thank you.
And the story in mind was we were working for a large hotel chain, my wife and I.
Yeah.
Landscaping, of course. And she was sent in by me to the kitchen to get a watering can filled full of water to water internal plants and external plants on the patio.
Beautiful.
This was near Christmas, and the chef was doing turkeys, etc. However, on this occasion, he threw a huge wobbler. They're very temperamental, aren't they, chef?
Yes, they do get a little bit excited.
And the turkey was scooted across the floor via his boot, which gathered all sorts of material on the turkey, which was retrieved by the under-chef that dusted all the filth and the grime off, put it back on the plate, served it in the restaurant.
Oh.
What?
But I guess the thing is, if we don't know about... Now, you couldn't have eaten that turkey. But if you don't know about it... Well, yeah, exactly. But if you don't know about it... I mean, does it really matter?
You're in sweet bliss.
You're in what?
You're in sweet bliss if you don't know.
Well, it's sweet bliss, exactly. And that's the thing. If we don't know, as long as it's not, got poison on it or poo or something, then... Sorry, Peter, I've put a horrible image into your head. I shall move on. Thank you very much indeed.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting in Newport Pagnell, the London Road looking very slow on the speed sensors approaching the M1. Also the A5 northbound struggling around Hotcliffe at the moment. In Harpenden, the High Street very busy in both directions around the Station Road. On public transport, First Capital Connect have all lines blocked through Hatfield at the moment. That means there's disruption between Moorgate and Welwyn Garden City. Some trains will divert via Hertford North. It's also affecting East Coast, First Hull trains and Grand Central. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Alice. 8:46. Wednesday, the 19th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Business leaders and drivers are criticising new roadworks which they say are bringing Hitchin to a standstill. Hertfordshire County Council has apologised for the inconvenience and say they will look at the situation this morning. George Osborne will present his fifth budget at lunchtime today. It's also been confirmed a new pound coin will be produced with 12 sides like the old threepenny bits. And in sport, Wycombe drew 1-1 at Cheltenham in League 2 and Chelsea are through to the last 8 of the Champions League. More of your calls and Justin Dealey coming up in the next 15 minutes. Before that, let's get the weather with Kate.
It's wicked.
Isn't it just?
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, we're starting to see some sunshine now over in Buckinghamshire, and it is edging its way everywhere. The cloud is thinning and breaking, and we should see some hazy sunshine through the course of the day. The temperature outside at the moment between 7 and 9 Celsius, and it is set to get a little bit warmer. Later on this afternoon, despite the southwesterly wind and the rather hazy sunshine, we're still looking at a maximum of around 17, maybe even 18 Celsius. Overnight tonight, we've got some cloud moving in from the south and west. We're hanging on to a bit of a breeze as well, but those things combined mean it will remain quite mild, 7 or 8 Celsius the minimum. For Thursday, dry start for tomorrow, but much cloudier. The cloud isn't going anywhere either. It's a grey day, a breezier day, and then we'll start to see the rain towards tomorrow evening, but it's cooler. More importantly, we're looking at 13, maybe 14 Celsius tomorrow if we're lucky, and the temperature continues to slope away as we head into the weekend. And that's your forecast.
On BBC One, the worlds of entertainment and sport relief collide. Beckham meets the boys from Peckham in a very special Only Fools and Horses.
If I asked you to go out into the high street wearing a sarong, would you?
Well, the Paralympians do Strictly.
My head is racing like you have no idea.
Team Bishop takes on Team Co.
John Bishop, be very afraid.
Live from the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. Sport Relief. Friday night from 7 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Akbar's in Luton. Good morning, Akbar.
Good morning, Iain.
What can I do for you, boss?
Boss, I have... it is coming across this morning that you feel a bit upset.
What do you mean?
You have really come across as being very angry with I don't know who with, but it's disturbing. I mean, what has upset you, Iain? Iain, my friend, I am one of your friends, and I'm deeply concerned how you came across about 5-6 minutes ago, and I want to know, and if I could help, I would extend my help. Iain, reply to me.
You've touched a nerve, Akbar.
Have I? Oh, I apologize. But what I'm saying is that you are a calm, calculated, and extremely intelligent radio presenter.
I know.
And you don't get into that kind of angry mood quite often. And I didn't hear your program earlier, but I am catching the fag end of it. And
the fag end?
Fag end.
The fag end of the program.
Yeah. And
it's an interesting term.
You can
spit it out, Akbar. Spit it out.
Sorry.
Spit it out. Spit the fag end out.
No. I said this. I'm catching the fag end of your program,
fag end.
and And I want you to come across, which you are normally, a very pleasant presenter. And to see that happen, it disturbs me. And the purpose of my call is to sort of find out and extend my help and cheer you up, and let's move on.
Could you sing me a song or something to cheer me up?
Oh, I wish I could. I'm not...
Do you know Ghostbusters?
I'm sorry?
Do you know the theme tune to Ghostbusters?
No, I don't.
That would cheer me up. I like that.
Iain.
That song makes me smile.
No, you are by nature an extremely pleasant person, Iain.
Correct.
I have been your listener for around 2 years, but
here?
Yeah.
Well, I've not been here for 2 years.
Well, roughly, I would say.
Well,
roughly.
No.
You've been here for about 18 months.
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
18 months, 2 years is close enough. And I do feel sometimes that if the radio station will provide you more testing subjects to talk about, which I'm quite sure you are quite capable of, but somehow the big stories go somewhere else.
Roberto.
I don't know. I'm not naming, but I think you deserve bigger stories.
Akbar, I've got to move on, but I really appreciate your call. You've touched something, and I want to say thank you for touching something.
My friend, cheer up, and you are a big enough man.
Bless you, Akbar. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ray's in Luton. Morning, Ray. Ray? Ray?
Hey, what happening, mate? Well, we'll go on.
What go on, Ray?
Hi, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Ray. How are you?
I'm fine. I heard you on the radio. How are you doing, man? Listen, though, seriously, let me get down to things like, seriously. You've been asking people things like, which is heavier?
Yes.
You know which is heavier?
A ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Yeah, I know which is heavier. Do you?
Well, bricks and feathers, they're all the same weight. But check this one. Which is heavier? A pound of gold or a pound of feathers?
A what?
A pound of gold. Gold, you know the metal? Gold.
Yep. The yellow one, yeah?
Or a pound of feathers. Which one is heavier?
Pound of gold.
A pound of gold?
Yeah.
No, pound of gold is lighter. Gold is weighed by troy weight. Right. Feathers is weighed by avoirdupois.
Avoirdupois?
Yes.
Did you say avoirdupois?
Yeah, well, yes.
That was the name of my first girlfriend. How did you know that?
Oh, because I'm always, spying on you.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Justin, not got a clue what that he was banging on about there.
And who was Akbar talking about as well?
What do you mean?
Well, he was saying about, this intelligent presenter and this calm presenter. Yep. Who was he talking about?
He was talking about me, mate.
Was he? Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Sorry, I must have misunderstood that.
Right, okay. He's touched a nerve, Akbar, and I'm going.
You okay?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I won't go into details. I'm okay.
Do you want to go for a chat after the programme?
Do you know what, mate? I would.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, not with you.
Oh,
Catherine. Yeah. Can we go for a chat after the programme?
Oh.
Oh.
I'm sorry. What have I done?
All about the skirt for you, isn't it? If I wore a skirt, you'd be with me. Typical bloke.
Justin.
Yes.
Ton of bricks, ton of feathers. It's been winding people up. People can't grasp this basic concept that a ton of bricks is obviously heavier than a ton of feathers.
Absolutely.
We've sent you out on the street using licence payers' money to investigate this. What have the great British public been saying?
They've been saying some very interesting things, Iain. Here's what people had to say.
They weigh exactly the same.
No, they don't.
Of course they do, young man.
Yeah, but bricks are heavier, aren't they?
Come on, a ton's a ton.
Bricks. Because they're heavier, aren't they?
What do you care more about? That question or the budget?
That question, probably.
DJ, good morning. You look a bit like a gangster. Are you a gangster?
No, I'm not.
OK, I'll put the question to you anyway. What do you think weighs more? A ton of bricks?
Yeah.
Or a ton of feathers?
A ton of bricks. Because bricks are heavier than feathers.
Correct answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Cheers, bro.
They both weigh the same.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
A ton.
No, but bricks are heavy though, aren't they?
Trick question.
That's not a trick question.
I'm really sorry, but I'm like late for uni. I've got to be there at 8:30.
Okay, well, tell them this question's more important. Okay, we're standing here right now. We're looking up to the sky, and we can see a ton of bricks coming down. We can see a ton of feathers coming down, and one's got to land on your head. Which one would you take?
I'd rather. All right, I'd rather have a ton of feathers then.
Exactly. What are you listening to, by the way?
ASAP Ferg, Let It Go.
Who?
ASAP Ferg, Let It Go.
Okay. In my car, I've just been sent the latest Shawaddy Waddy definitive collection. Right. Would you like that?
I'm all right, thank you, but thanks for the offer.
What about Engelbert?
I'm right.
I've got a spare ticket for his concert next month. Do you fancy it?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks
Cheers.
for the offer.
That's all right, thanks very much.
Thank you.
I think they weigh exactly the same. It's a ton. Ton is a ton. Scotty, I've got to go.
Surely feathers are lighter, aren't they?
Ton's a ton.
Ton of bricks. Bricks are heavier, feathers are light.
Sajid, how are you today?
I'm okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Sajid, what do you think weighs more? A ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Answer that question, bad boy.
What do you mean, say again?
What do you think weighs more, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers?
Feathers.
You had to think for a second, though, didn't you?
Feathers?
No, it's feathers.
Yeah, you got the right answer, thank you.
You said a ton of feathers is heavier. What are we dealing with? So a few people got the answer right. A ton of bricks is heavier than a ton of feathers, but some people got that answer right.
Thing is, though, Ian, either way you look at it, you know, correct answer, either bricks or feathers, it doesn't really matter, but they both weigh a ton. But technically, looking up to the sky, as I mentioned to that guy earlier on, I know what I would prefer landing on my head.
Yeah, but technically, you're wrong because the bricks would be heavier.
Listen, I'm pretty much with you on this one, saying that the bricks, I would say, weigh more. A ton of bricks would weigh more, but technically, both are correct answers, aren't they?
Well, no, they're not, because the bricks, a ton of bricks is obviously heavier than a ton of feathers. They're
both
bricks,
technically
Justin.
correct. I know what you're saying. Listen, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. But if you're going to look at it mathematically, they're both exactly the same answer.
But if you're with me, then you can't say but and then say they're the same answer, because they're not, Justin.
Yeah, I know. But come on. If you look at it mathematically, get a calculator out, they weigh exactly the same. So, whether you say bricks or whether you say feathers, both the correct answer.
But bricks is more correct.
Yeah, I think probably the answer people should have been going for, like the majority did, was in actual fact bricks.
So bricks are heavier than feathers.
I'll go along with
a ton
that.
of which is heavier than a ton of the other. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. We got there in the end. Why has it been so difficult this morning? Right, anyway. I should shut up. I'm seeing my therapist at 9:30, so we can crack on with that. So we're all cleared up for tomorrow. Right, Jonathan is up next. 08459 455 555 is the phone number. You can start dialing him now.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
At the Black Cat roundabout, ongoing queues on the A1 southbound from Eton-Soken, and also in Hitchin, the A602 towards the centre of town, looking very heavy from the A1M. The M25 anti-clockwise, slow going between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 16 for the M40. On public transport, First Capital Connect have all lines through Hatfield currently blocked, so there's disruption between Moorgate and Welwyn Garden City. Tickets are being accepted on London Underground and Greater Anglia, though. I'm Alice Glossop, BBC Three Counties Radio.
I am a highfalutin, tootin', shootin' son of the gun from Arizona.
There we go, we got there in the end. Thank you all of you for being such good sports this morning. Don't forget, there's a podcast out. You can get it on iTunes. Type in Iain Lee BBC. It pops up onto your, Walkman or whatever it's called these days. JBS is up next until tomorrow at 6 from me. Ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone In, do you love or hate Aldi and Lidl? Sainsbury's has announced